Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as it shouldn't say, what it do, baby. It is your boy Pride, joined by Dustin. We will have Freddie here momentarily. Dustin, how you doing today?
Just living, Pride, just living.
Word, well, which is kind of funny because that's what the NHL is doing, just living. But before we get to there, NASCAR is changing their entire points, their point system when it comes to the playoffs. So now, the winner of a race is going to get 40 points. Second through 35th will get points ranging from 35 to 2. And those finishing 36th to 40th will be awarded 1 point. There's no longer any bonuses for leading laps. No longer bonuses for leading the most laps. All that stuff is out, which kind of makes a lot of the racers feel better because now they're saying every race now matters. It's not really just a couple races where a guy can dominate and it gives him a comfortable lead. They're introducing something called playoff points. The playoffs still will remain divided into the 3 race rounds. Whole bunch of changes made, Dustin. You like it, love it, or hate it?
I like it because, to me, NASCAR got it all wrong a couple of years ago when they went to the playoff format to begin with. I love the playoff format and how it works, but in order to make the playoffs, all you had to do was win 1 race during the first 20 races of the season. So going on that logic, you could win the Daytona 500, which is the first race of the year, and finish in last place the rest of the season, but because you won that first race, you automatically qualified for the playoff field. I never really thought that was right because all it takes is for someone to have 1 great race to win that race, and then the rest of the season they could be mediocre at best, and they get in the playoffs over a person that may have been consistently finishing in the top 15, top 20 all year, but because they didn't have that win under their belt, they didn't make the playoff field. Once they get to the playoffs, I like the format, and I think the format should stay where basically it's the first round is the round of 16, and those cars race for 4 races. Then it goes to a round of 12, same thing, 4 races. Round of 8, same thing, 4 races. And then the final 4 get into that final race at the end of the year, where it's basically whoever finishes the highest out of those 4, take it. I personally want them to go with a new format, or at least kind of implement some of the old format points where every race matters, where it's not just you win, you qualify for the playoffs. You actually have to try to finish well in every single event. And I think the top 16 people in total points should be the ones that are getting to the playoffs, as opposed to you could have 14 different winners qualifying, and then it's a crapshoot for those final 2 spots.
Yeah, which to your point again, a lot of racers have always felt that we're racing for 36 races, but you can only show up for 10. And you're automatically in the playoffs. And notice I said show up. You don't have to win or anything like that.
No.
You just place top 10, top 20, like you said. They do that for about 10 races. You win, to your point, Dustin, you win 1 and you're in. It does kind of give this weird vibe, this weird kind of sensation of what matters more, a one-hit wonder or a guy who is consistently placing top 15. Like that's something that's always been asked the past few years. And I'm pretty sure this is something like the old school fan will enjoy because now every race has implications. Yep. Every race, if you have 1 bad race, you need to be on it the next outing because that could potentially get you out. And the reason I'm personally, I love it, but it's just because the thing is, they usually only have, and Dustin, you know this, there's only really about 5 to 7 races every year that NASCAR kind of hypes up with this gives you playoff implications. Shouldn't that be every single race, though?
Yeah, and it should be. It should be. And if you look at last year, Kyle Larson won 10 races last year.
Yep.
That's almost a third of the season that he basically won. And I think he ended up winning like 4 races out of 5 races at one point in the year. Yes. If they were going based off of you win 1 race and you make the playoff field, Kyle Larson would have accounted for 5 spots because he won 5 races before the playoffs, and then he won an additional 5 once the playoffs got there. But if they were going off that old format, he would have taken up basically 5 chances for somebody else to get in by winning those 5 races. So in a way, they're kind of going based off of his performance last year to realize if you have a driver that is that dominant for the whole entire 36 race season, then that's how you should be going off of points. You shouldn't be awarding somebody that wins the second race of the year and then for the next 20 races they never finish higher than 25th.
Yep. And again, this is something that's very interesting because a lot of the bonus points that they gave the drivers, a lot of them are now gone, if not all. So before it was a 40-1 scale, like in terms of your points, depending on when you finish. The winner would then receive 3 additional bonus points. And then if whoever led a lap, you would then get a point for that. And then if you led for the most amount of laps, you would get some extra points on top of that, which, you know, is kind of, let's be fair, dumb, because there's potentially a guy who finishes 5th could end up having more points than the guy who finished 1st, which now opens up this weird can of, hold on, does being first matter? Like, does my placing even matter? Or is it just really along the lines of if I lead for 15 laps, I'm basically solid. So why should I even try to kill myself and go for first? They now eliminated all of that. So now it's like, yo, you want more points? There's only one thing you could do, which I kind of like because now there's no, like, now it's more natural, it's more pure, because now you're not gonna have a dude who led, you know, who led for, like I said, 15 laps. Someone, you know, he gets cocky, he gets complacent, lets off the gas a little bit, you know what I mean? And then next thing you know, someone kind of overpasses him. Now we're like, he's in a position where he's like, oh yeah, well, doesn't matter because you know, I still got a solid number of points for coming in second, and on top of that, with the bonuses, I'm still going to be above him regardless, which, again, is stupid. Pretty sure you agree with me here, Dustin, but I guess first, you should get the most amount of points regardless.
Yeah, and I guess the thing that NASCAR kind of gave me the last couple of years, it seemed like they were doing a participation trophy, basically, where all you really had to do was show up. If you won 1 race, well, then you don't even really have to even try to win or try to finish well the next 19 races because you already punched your spot in the playoffs. Now that whole participation trophy vibe kind of went away to what you said in your point. Now drivers are going to be forced to actually try to finish well to get the most points, and that actually is going to be, instead of having 1 or 2 drivers that don't deserve to be in the playoffs, now you're going to have the 16 drivers that actually deserve to be there because they're the ones that tried to win every single race.
Yeah, I mean it. And again, I like what they're trying to do. I really do, because again, what they're trying to do, they're trying to make sure every single game or every single race has playoff implications. Like, they're trying to make sure that regardless, you can potentially, if you hit a rough skid, there's no urgency for the racer to get out of that skid. There's now an urgency. There's now pressure because, like you said, Dustin, before, you win 1 race, now it's all cake. Now you're just kind of waiting for the playoffs. Now it's like, you know, if I win 1 race, it's cool and all, but I'm going to need to go get some more to solidify Because for all we know, and again, this is also going to work in favor of the other guys as well. Like the people who don't always go out and win the races, we're now rewarding consistency. Let's say a guy consistently places in the top 10. You're not rewarding him for that. Now he has a better chance of actually making the playoff. For all we know, he could be a dude who like, you know, is just silent in the regular season. All of a sudden, no pun intended, switches gears and all of a sudden is godly in the playoffs. You don't know that. But I just like the fact that they're now rewarding consistency. And honestly, the only people who are going to have a problem with this are just the people who get complacent and would rather just win once and then have an easy way to the playoffs. Like, that's really the only people who are really going to have a problem with this, Dustin.
Yeah, and that was kind of the situation, I think, last year with I think it was either Bubba Wallace or I want to say Eric Almirola, where they didn't win a race the entire 20 race regular season, but they consistently finished between 12th and 21st place. So they were very consistent the whole year, but both of them were eliminated from the playoff field by somebody else that had a victory during the season. And it wasn't fair to those two because at least they were consistent. Well, the other driver had one good week where he won and then was not very consistent the rest of the year and knocked the other two out.
I was about to say, he was I forgot his name, but they were talking about he had one race.
Yeah, Michael McDowell.
They were talking about it because outside of that race, his highest finish was 28th, 29th, something like that.
Yeah.
And that was his best. After that, he was just a guy who was just out there to take a spot. He basically finished in the subpar range. So it's to your point, why are we going to reward him who got lucky 1 week instead of the other someone else who's been more consistent?
Yeah.
So, but again, NASCAR, they're making a good. It's smart. I like it. And honestly, like I said, the only people who have a problem with it are the people who just would like to be one-hit wonders. But speaking of problem, the NHL decided the best way to stop this COVID problem is to not have a COVID problem. Bringing in our boy Fredward. Freddie, how you feeling?
I'm good. How are you guys doing this morning?
Just living life in paradise.
Hey,
I know Freddie. Freddie, for those of you who don't know, Freddie, he's been backstage. He's been texting his best friend, because he and his best friend, they got to talk to each other all day, every day. So, Freddie and his boy. But
Brad is in his feelings, ladies and gentlemen.
Played me. But the NHL decided to say we won't have a COVID problem if COVID doesn't exist. So, if you're asymptomatic, basically, if you don't tell no one you're sick, we won't test you. That is the surefire way to bring down your COVID numbers. Just don't test. That is the best way. After the All-Star break, they are planning to just say F it. However, they will test players and staff people who cross the border between the United States and Canada.
What's up, Rio? How are you doing this morning?
What up, Riri? But if you're going to Canada and coming to the States, you will get tested. Other than that, you will not get tested. The NHL All-Star Weekend, February 4th to the 5th. When players get there, they will be tested. After that, you're on your own. So, a lot of guys, it's a very divisive thing. Some guys in the NHL, and by the way, Damien says NHL is stupid. It's kind of the question I kind of want to pose to you, Freddie, because some players like it, others don't. According to the NHL, 73% of the league has tested positive this season, which, 73 guys, that's a big number. Did you know if you count to 100, you get to 73 first? That's crazy. But 73% of the league has been positive. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe there's only one guy in the NHL who isn't vaccinated. I think he plays for Detroit.
Tyler Bertuzzi.
Yeah. So he plays for Detroit, right? The Red Wings, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then that's him. That's him. So he's the only dude in the NHL who is not vaccinated. The NHL and their Players Association, they do not have any plans to require any type of booster vaccine. All this being said, Freddie, are they making the right choice?
Listen here, man. And I'm not gonna be long, but I'm just gonna be short. COVID is still here, to my knowledge. It haven't gone anywhere, to my knowledge. Until a lot more of them players get tested positive, they get sick and they can't play. And they had to shut games down because of a league coming in there being dumb, not making the right decisions, affecting the bottom line. Because we know one thing when it comes to these billionaire owners, they care about one thing and one thing only, that bottom line. And when they start messing with that, they'll change their decision on this. That's all I got to say about it.
Dustin, you agree, Freddie?
I am going to at least applaud the NHL for growing a pair and basically saying that they're not going to test asymptomatic people. But at the same time, that's not going to stop the problem because COVID's still here and you're still going to have the people that are testing positive that are not asymptomatic. But at the same time, we've discussed this on several of the morning shows that eventually the NBA, the NHL, MLB, NFL is going to have to realize that COVID is here to stay, and canceling games for the next 5-10 years, however long it takes for COVID to go away, is not going to be the answer. They're going to have to figure out ways to avoid the postponements, avoid the cancellations, and all this other stuff. And maybe this is the way to do it. Basically, just say if you're asymptomatic, you're good to go. And if you're not asymptomatic, you're not good to go. I know it sounds kind of discriminatory to the ones that are asymptomatic and the ones that are not, but if this is the way to go to make sure that everything goes as planned without postponements and cancellations, maybe the NHL is onto something here.
Honestly, and I don't want to be rude. I don't, because obviously, pride's gonna get in trouble if I call someone a moron. But I say this with all due disrespect, of course. If you think that NHL is doing the right thing, you are the dumbest person on the planet. What the NHL is doing is what the NBA would have done if it wasn't for the players. Let's just be fair here, right? Let's just be fair. The NBA would have done this, but the players didn't want to do it. They didn't want to. They were like, look, bro, at the end of the day, we need to make sure we're all good, at least a majority of them, right? I'm going to tell this right now. What the NHL is going to do, a guy's going to come in sick, and guess what they're going to do? They're not going to test them. They're going to say, how are you feeling? And you know what the guy's going to say? I got the flu. Okay. That's what they're going to do. That's all this is doing. That's all this is doing. They're just using the word asymptomatic to start the trail. That's all they're doing. Let's be honest here, right?
In my opinion, they're being selfish. They're not worried about the fan. They're not worried about the player's family. They're not even worried about the player himself. And that's why I bring the money aspect in there, that they care so much about the money that they're not going to do the right thing. They're going to do something to keep them able to play games, keep bringing in the revenue, keep bringing in the fans, instead of doing what's right.
And again, that's why I'm like, again, all this, like I said, all they're doing is laying a path. That's all they're doing. They're just starting something. So that way, later down the road, they could be like, oh, how are you feeling? You have a sneeze, you can't taste. Oh, it's just the flu. Oh, it's the flu? Okay, well, you're asymptomatic, so that's fine. That's all they're really going to do. That's really it. It just blows my mind how we're supposedly doctors know all until you disagree with them. And it's kind of funny because the same people who disagree with them, who think that this COVID thing is fake, are the same people who can't spell right. These are the same people who think you spell the word love, like the emotion love. They spell that L-U-V. You can't spell. You don't know what colors are, but you can somehow explain to the world how COVID isn't real, how it's not deadly or anything. Like, it's just so bizarre. It's just so bizarre. Like I said, all they're doing, they're laying the groundwork for it. So that way, when a guy does get COVID, they're just going to say it's a flu. Watch. I'm going to predict this stuff. This is what's going to happen. I'm telling you, all right? COVID numbers in the NHL will go down. They're going to go down. And I'm going to tell you why they're going to go down. They're going to go down because instead of saying it's COVID, they're going to say it's the flu. Instead of saying it's COVID, they're going to say it's pneumonia. Instead of saying it's COVID, they're going to say it's something completely different. Instead of COVID, they got cancer. That's what they're going to do. Instead of COVID, they're going to call it something else. Their numbers are going to go down. And guess what?
What?
All the morons in the world who have no idea what they're talking about is going to say, see, the NHL said, forget it, screw it, whatever. Now look. That's what they're going to do. Listen, bro. You feel me? I can't even predict the future, and I know for a fact that's going to happen. It's going to happen. And then you're going to have those people who, again, are idiots and don't know what they're talking about. They're going to be the ones who are going to say, see, look what the NHL did. They didn't care. Now COVID doesn't exist. Told you. Meanwhile, you're going to have a guy on skates who can't breathe, and when they go give him the Gatorade, he can't taste it. That's COVID. But again, Freddie, we're not allowed to talk about that. I'm telling you, all it is groundwork. That's all it is. It's a groundwork. And guess what? When y'all stupid people get caught, I'm going to be here laughing at you. Because I'm predicting the NHL's game before the NHL couldn't even think about it. I'm calling out their playbook. Like I'm Bobby Wagner, like I'm Clay Matthews. Calling for the when he was in Green Bay and he was playing against Carolina, and Cam Newton he had Christian McCaffrey next to him, and Clay Matthews, he was like, hey yo, watch that wheel route. I'm out here calling their stuff out. Only difference is they ain't finna score on me. That's the only difference. They ain't finna score on me. So, Anthony Price says NHL going to blame the fans if the players test positive. I don't think they will. And the only reason why I don't think they will is because if they blame the fans, then guess what? Then they're going to have to go back to no fans. Mm-hmm. They're going to have to do that. And they don't want to do that because that's the reason they're not testing guys, because they want the fans to come back so that they can pay. So unless the NHL is doubly stupid and they blame the fans, I don't know, man. I really don't. Switching gears real quick. Did y'all hear what Dak Prescott said?
What did he say?
Oh, you didn't? Okay, so afterwards, right? After
what, about the apology to the refs and all that?
Yeah. No, well, not to the fans, to the officials. So here's what happened.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
So after Dak Prescott did the dumbest thing on the world, and by the way, completely on him. I don't care what anyone says. No timeouts. You run a quarterback draw. You do all that to just what? Lose? Cool. He then blamed the officiating. He blamed the officiating, and then one of the reporters said that the fans were throwing garbage on him. And he said something like good on them or something for like the fans that were throwing the trash, which is funny. Hilarious. Guess what he did? He then decided to go on Twitter and was like, I'm sorry. I respect the refs. They have a hard job. I shouldn't have done that. Which to me is a joke. We live in a world where Tom Brady throws a tablet and he is the Antichrist. We live in a world where Aaron Rodgers screams at people. And, some people kind of criticize him for it. Derek Carr vents his frustrations. It's a problem. Dakota endorses, and by the way, the same people who are defending him are the same people who crucified the Bills fans for throwing a dildo at Kendrick Osborne when he scored the touchdown, right? So let's just have some consistency here. The same people who crucified the Bills fans are doing that are supporting Dak Prescott for encouraging the fans to throw trash at the officials, which, by the way, the trash should have went elsewhere. It should have went at the Dallas Cowboys because that's how they played, and they deserve to lose. They deserve to lose. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. If you think Dallas should have won, if you think they were robbed, you're an idiot. And I mean that, of course, with all due disrespect.
The trash should go to Mike McCarthy's front yard.
His front yard, Zeke's front yard, Dak's front yard, their back.
Kellen Moore's front yard.
Yeah, man, like Jerry Jones, like everyone, right?
Stephen Jones, Mrs. Jones,
Kellen Moore,
all the Jones.
We gonna leave Mrs. Moore out of it, or Mrs. Jones out of it, because she wasn't there. She aight. She aight. Now, unless she comes out and all of a sudden starts handling this team and this team becomes boo-boo, then we gonna buy her a house just to throw trash on it. But they're defending Dak Prescott. Poor Dak. He was upset. Competitive. Come on, bro. All that happened. He now goes on Twitter to do literally the lamest apology I've ever heard in my entire life. Literally. Like, if you read that just sounds like he went to the PR guy was like, Dak, you can't say that. And Dak was like, type something up. Here's my phone. Freddie, why is Dak Prescott getting a pass?
Are you surprised? I mean, this is the same team that saved Ezekiel Elliott when he was making the bonehead decisions off the field. And who came there and saved the day then? It was Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is going to protect his players. We've seen him many time after time after time. That's why I don't think Dak Prescott, felt like he had owed anybody an apology. Like you said, the PR, I'm pretty sure their PR guy said, okay, hey, this is not a good look. And then let's be honest. I mean, Dak Prescott is a guy that normally says the right things. You don't never see Dak doing a press conference. They just come out and say the wrong things. Like, this is the first time this guy have said anything critical in his career. So that's number one. And number two, for his, just to keep it real, let's not get it twisted. What Tom Brady did on the sideline and what Dak did is two different things. So,
yeah, Dak is worse.
I don't think so.
Freddie, let me ask you a question. This is the only reason why I'm saying it's worse.
Take your fandom out of it, bro.
No, that's what I'm doing. I'm taking the fandom out of it, 100%. When Tom Brady threw the tablet, he threw it at nobody. It was fine. He just threw it. And again, let me understand. Hear what I'm saying. I'm not. By the way, what's up, Chris? I'm not saying when Tom threw the tablet that it was justifiable, right? Again, he let his emotions get the best of him, and that no good at all, right? So you and I agree there, right? That Tom Brady breaking and throwing the tablet, bad look, right? We agree there, correct?
Right.
Okay.
It's worse than Dak's.
Okay, no, it's not.
In my opinion, it's worse than Dak. So
the
one
only
thing that
reason
Tom
why-
Brady did, him as the leader of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
Mhm.
him on the bench, gets a tablet, breaks it, and throw it. That's a horrible look. Dak Prescott,
And you know what's even a worse
it's
look?
a
You want
worse
to know what's
look
even a
than
worse
Dak
look?
Prescott going in the press conference and throw the referee under the bench, under the
No, that's not what he did. He's encouraging the fan base to throw things on the field. Freddie, hold on.
Well, okay, I see where you're coming from. My bad.
That's what I'm saying.
My bad.
That's what
I
I'm
agree.
saying.
I agree. My bad.
That's what I'm saying. Again, if Dak is just coming out saying, "Man, these officials they're horrible," I disagree with him. And if you think the refs are horrible, Dak, get out of the NFL because you're a moron for that. But if that's all he said, that's one thing.
Can we go ahead and say, remember we was talking about this a while back ago that Dak Prescott is not a top 10 quarterback? Can we go ahead and have that conversation? Can we? Please?
No. I want to have that conversation with someone who actually thinks Dak Prescott is a top 10 quarterback. Freddie, I said this. I've been saying this, Freddie, and people who don't know football disagree with me.
They thought we was crazy.
Freddie, I one up myself. You know what I really think about Dak Prescott? He's just a taller version of Jimmy Garoppolo.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I've been saying since day one that he wasn't a top 10 quarterback and that he wasn't that guy.
Like, I'm being honest here. Now, I'm not saying Dak Prescott is trash, but he's not great.
He's probably, what would you say, maybe 10 to 16 best quarterback in the league?
Probably 16 or 12-ish.
Yeah, somewhere
around there. He's like a middle of the pack.
Hey, I'm going to take it a step further. This might be a hot take.
Uh-oh.
Don't take this year because he dealt with the injury. I'll take Baker Mayfield over Dak Prescott.
I've been saying that's a legitimate conversation for a little while now. I've been saying that for a while.
Baker Mayfield. They got to play for the Browns, who's the number 1 overall pick, who had trouble this year. Couldn't make it work with Odell Beckham Jr. Looked bad at times. Got more commercials than any star athlete I've ever seen.
I think the only person who has more is LeBron, and I just think it's because LeBron started earlier.
Yeah.
I think that's the only athlete who got more commercials, and that's just LeBron started earlier. That's really the only reason. Damn. He said, Freddie, you reaching across states now. Freddie, I'm gonna give you the floor because you said you would take Baker Mayfield over Dak Prescott. I'm gonna leave it with this before I let you have it. I think they are in the same category.
They are. I didn't say it was like a big margin. I mean, it's
right. I think they're in the same category. So, yeah, Freddie,
they're closer to what people want to admit.
Well, nobody wants to admit it. Let's just be fair here. Nobody.
The reason why I say this is because we have seen Dak Prescott for the last couple of years, take that level. He played for the Cowboys. And let's not forget, people don't realize this. Jerry Jones was not too high on Dak Prescott. I don't think Jerry Jones wanted Dak to be the quarterback because he was still holding on to the nephew and old Romo. But we all know that the perception of the fans, the media, and everything, they pushed Dak into the situation that he's in now. Okay, I believe he's like 1-3 in the playoffs. When it comes to the big games, he don't show up. It showed Sunday that he's, like I've always said, they get those crunch numbers at the end of the game because for the first 3 quarters, they was pretty much a no-show. And then the fourth quarter comes, like I've said many times, they get these numbers when the opposing teams get in that prevent defense.
In garbage time.
Hell, I would take an injured
forever.
I would take an injured Lamar. Hey, and hey, I'm gonna tell you this: let old Daniel Jones cut those interceptions from 10 interceptions down. I'm taking Daniel Jones over him as well. But if he cut down on them interceptions and fumbles,
you lost me there, Chief. You lost me there.
If Daniel Jones don't turn the ball over like he do, And
You
he
lost me there,
no
Chief.
touchdowns, run. Hey, I'll take Daniel Jones. But right now, I still take Dak. But I said, let him cut. Let next year be the year Daniel Jones find it right. Oh, Dak, you might be in a little trouble. I'm just saying.
You lost me there, Chief.
But you know what? Daniel Jones might not be the quarterback for the Giants.
That's what I'm saying. And we'll
I've
get
seen a
we'll
little
get to there.
rumors floating around here, old Chris. That I'm
trust me,
ready to unload on.
I promise you, we're gonna talk about that. I promise you.
Yeah, I've been saying for years that Dak puts up most of his numbers in garbage time.
Mhm.
Let's be and not only that, and here's been my number one problem with Dak Prescott. If you're a top 5 guy, right? Hell, top 10 guy. Once you throw the ball past 10 yards, I've never seen. I think the only guy I've ever seen miss wide open guys that bad, and people go get mad at me. Tim Tebow. The throws Dak Prescott does to a wide open Amari Cooper, and it's just grossly over or underthrown, is atrocious. Atrocious.
You can say the same thing about Josh Rosen too, which is why he's not even in the league anymore.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought up Josh Rosen. Dak Prescott is just another Josh Rosen that just wasn't drafted in the first round. Are we able to have that conversation? Because I think Josh Rosen still has the potential to be an average quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
I think he could be an average quarterback. I don't think he'll be anything great.
That goes back to what Freddie was saying about Baker Mayfield. If Baker Mayfield wasn't a first round pick, nobody would be.
No, if he was a second round pick,
was a far fetched thing.
Yeah. And you want to know what it really is? He could still be in the first round. He could have went second. He could have went number 2 overall.
Yeah. If he went in the first round, he was still getting overdrafted.
So, and here's the thing that I tell people all the time. Because they say his rookie year, he led them 13-3. And I asked, did he really lead them? Goes to my point of him just being another Jimmy Garoppolo. They were a run-first team. Notice how the Dallas Cowboys are an average team at best when they become a pass-first team. Isn't that a little suspicious? Don't you find that suspicious? I'm asking for a friend. Don't you find that suspicious?
I got a better question.
Oh, go ahead, Freddie. I love your questions. Let me hear it.
And I'd love to see if I can get 2 of them to come on the show. But one of them said he was sick, and one of them, I don't know where Jay Ness is. You know what? I wanted to come on here and troll real hard this morning, bro. I really did.
Matter of fact, we could have an episode just slandering Dak Prescott, bro.
No, I was trying to see what was the most embarrassing loss over the weekend.
Oh, that was us. No,
Cowboys?
us. No, us. Us. No debate. That was a Patriots.
Or was it the Cardinals?
I would say the Patriots only for the sole reason of Bill Belichick doesn't lose games like that.
And I'm not gonna put too much on the Patriots. I'm gonna tell you why. Because you're going in there with a rookie quarterback, first time in the playoffs.
But I'm not even talking about our offense. Nope. No. I'm not talking about our offense. I'm speaking more from a defensive perspective. Freddie, I don't know if you saw the game, but if you didn't, I'm gonna inform you on how it went. Bill Belichick made the wrong call every single time. Our players made the wrong read every single time. Blown coverages, poor tackling, lack of communication. There was multiple times J.C. Jackson thought he had safety help over the top. And instead, he would just be like, oh, he caught it, whatever. And he would look and go, oh, wait, I have no help. And then all of a sudden it's a touchdown or it's a massive gain. So it's like.
But Brian, what I'm saying is the
Can you
Patriots
call me
had no expectations. They had no expectations, but the Cowboys, they had expectations by their fans. The Cardinals, by this man, right here, came on the show. I'm like, the Cardinals going to do this.
And to be fair, Freddie.
And look where they at.
And Freddie, listen, I'm gonna need some of that smoke too, because I
hold
did
on.
pick the Cardinals over the Rams.
Somebody must
Hey,
have
I picked the
somebody
Cardinals
must
over the
have
Rams too. So
somebody must have a genie lamp or something. They must have been rubbing it, because I swear it's some of me in here. Were you screaming my name?
Where's Jay McLovin at?
Were you
Let's see how
screaming?
good I am.
Hold on. Were you screaming? See, listen. Let's be real. When you talk about the Cardinals, and you're gonna come and slander us, or whatever it is that you want to do, be real about it. We did have, and actually, I'll be real on my standpoint. I feel like it was the most embarrassing loss of the season for the standpoint of we were built to win this year. We did let everyone down, and including the players on the field. They let themselves down because we did start off the season 8-1. So, I mean, yeah, on that standpoint, I agree with you. But don't get up here and try to give yourself some content to spew on, because the Cardinals did what they were supposed to do this year. They improved from last year. Hold on, let me finish. I'm talking. They improved from last year. They made the playoffs. They were second in their division. They did what they were supposed to do as a team. You're supposed to get better every single year. Kyler Murray is still on his rookie contract. Secondly, now I'll move over to Pride. I'm not even going to jump on the Patriots, because to me, the Patriots did what they were supposed to do this year.
Nah, you have to.
No, hold on.
At least defensively.
No, the game itself, it was horrible. But the Patriots, as far as the season's concerned, the Patriots did what they were supposed to do this year. They went out and acquired a rookie quarterback and improved on what they did from last year on a quarterback. Let's all agree that when coming into the season, we didn't think was going to be able to accomplish what he accomplished. So, again,
that's some expectations for him.
You personally, because you're a Patriots fan. But a lot of people were saying, people were saying, well, Mac Jones is going to have a rough start. We'll see how it goes. That's how they were bringing this into the season.
I mean, let's be fair. If we drafted Zach Wilson, I was going to have to believe in him, because I'm a Patriots fan. So I was going to have to believe in whatever quarterback we got.
Hold on. I had to take the mic off like the preacher about to preach a sermon for you, Jay. You did not accomplish what you supposed to do. Because when your GM, when your coach, they sat in the team meeting room, you know what they said? Getting bounced out the first round with this team is not good enough. This team is a Super Bowl or bust.
Honestly, they didn't have that conversation because they'd never been to the playoffs.
You did, but what
they had
you
never
did
been to the playoffs.
Yesterday morning, don't act like I wasn't watching the show and I was waiting to get on the show with you. Talking about
Kyler Murray has done more than Daniel Jones has done in New York.
He was tired. Please, Jay, cry me a river. You cry me so many excuses all you want. I told you it's not how you start a season. It's how you finish.
You know,
my
point. Hold on 1 second, Pride. Go ahead. 1 second. You know what's funny, Freddie? You spend more of your time talking about other teams than you do your own, because your own can't get over negative 10 yards in a game. So again,
my team didn't go in the season.
I know.
All the
again, what I said was we knew you were going to be dog crap. So again, like I said, you spend more time.
My team didn't try about a Super Bowl this year.
You spend more time on the bash carousel than you do discussing what can improve your own squad.
Jay, listen, I can't believe I'm saying this. I kind of have to agree with Freddie a little bit. Not in terms of bashing the Cardinals, but
no, I already said we were supposed to accomplish a lot of things. We went in all.
No,
in
you didn't say that, Jay.
We went all.
Said we've accomplished.
That's what I'm saying, Jay. Like when you go
a playoff game, we got better this year.
No, we improved as a team.
That's of course. Trust me. Trust me. You guys improve. I'm not gonna knock that from you guys.
No,
but that wasn't the point of this season. Y'all started 7-0, and even if it was a Super Bowl, fine. But the NFC Championship game was we need to at least get there before we can do anything. And then losing to the Rams.
But now let me ask you this.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say the season was a failure, but you can make an argument that it was at least disappointing.
No,
it was majorly disappointing. And see, the thing is, the one thing I have a question for you guys: do you think the Cardinals went into the season with the same expectations as they had after Week 5? I don't think so.
I think so.
I don't think so. I think that coming into the season, we were looking to improve. We were trying to make a deep playoff run, obviously. But I think week 5, when we're 5-0, week 6, when we're 6-0, that's what changed the mindset. And that's where I agree with you.
Jay, you as a Cardinals fan, what was your expectations at the start of the season?
Make the playoffs.
I pulled up the film too, by the way, sir.
My son's a big Cardinals fan, and that was why his expectations was to make the playoffs.
Because I'm being real.
No, that was not just hell no. Jay, don't come over here. I'll find the film.
Freddie, you find the film. Freddie,
you wanted to make a
save
deep
the
run,
speech,
sir.
Save the speech and find the film,
Freddie. Find that film, Freddie, because we're gonna
save the speech. Find the film.
Because I'll be honest. Before, I didn't think they were gonna make the Super Bowl because I had a rematch of the Chiefs and the Chiefs and the Bucks, but I did expect the Cardinals to. I thought they had somewhat of a chance, and I expected them to be for like. I thought they were gonna win the division, and I thought they were gonna be potentially in the NFC Championship game if Green Bay wasn't in it.
I called what we were gonna do. I said, and you can look back week 1. You can look back right before the season started. I said, if we take second in the division, I'm happy. We were 4th in the division. Come on.
But
if we take second in the division and make the playoffs,
the one before the season to come on here and say,
Jay, hold on,
I believe the Arizona Cardinals going to make a deep run this year.
Because
that don't even sound like
me. Is at home on the couch eating potato chips right now.
Find that video because that don't even sound like
Jay. And Jay, you say being second in the division, and that's good. That's fine for a team like New England. For a team like
no, but maybe we have the best division. You know we have the best division in football.
Right, but your roster is stacked.
Wait. We don't have the best division in football?
I'm not sure you can say about football.
Who's the better division in football?
Maybe this year, but I'm not going to say.
No. Who's a better division in football?
I would say the AFC North, most of the time was, pretty solid. I mean, they was pretty strong.
Name the AFC North teams, please.
You have the Baltimore
Ravens. You
got the Cincinnati Bengals.
Not you, Pride.
You got the Ravens. You got the Steelers. What are you talking about?
So you got the Bengals, the Ravens, the Steelers, and who else?
You got the Steelers. You got the Browns.
Okay. So the Browns.
You stay humble, sir. This is the first year your ass been relevant in a long time. Stay humble, sir.
You're not making any sense right now. Listen.
I am.
You said this is the first time we've been. Hold on. You just compared a division that has 2 teams that have never been relevant in 30 years that just started being relevant to a division that has
what 2 teams?
I'm not even going to do this with you.
What 2 teams?
You don't understand. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, I'm not going to do this with you. We're not going to.
The
Browns and the Bengals.
Real quick.
Okay, the Bengals are the second team.
Hold on, real quick. I just want to throw this.
Jill's been relevant for a long time, sir.
The Bengals. Hold on, real quick. The Bengals won the AFC North, going 10-7.
Mm-hmm.
No disrespect to them whatsoever, but of all the division leaders, that is the worst record.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't. But we're not going to.
Hold on, real quick. Right above them is the Buffalo Bills with 11-6. There's a few. Hold on, real quick, Freddie. I don't have a problem you saying this year. There's a few divisions with teams that have with at least 2 teams with double-digit wins.
Hey, Pride, he said just
North
this
is
year.
Not one of them. And on top of that, in the NFC, which is the NFC West, there are 3 teams with double-digit wins. Only 1 team under 500.
This year, right?
And you can make the argument that if Russ had not gotten hurt, you can make somewhat of an argument that Seattle could have been over 500, which, if I'm not mistaken, someone fact check me. I wish Dustin was still here. Would have been a rarity. Would have been one of, if not the only time in NFL history where a division could have had every team over 500. Now, I'm not saying it's possible.
Let me ask you a question. Are we talking about just this year? Because when he said in the NFL, you need to put clarity on it and say you're talking about this year because the Cardinals just got relevant.
Okay, so let's deflate your balloon again.
Rephrase your statement.
Hold on. No. Let me deflate your balloon again.
How? When they made the Super Bowl against the Steelers, what are you talking about?
Hold on, Pride. We're not even going to go back that far. You can look at the. Hold on. You can look at the divisional records for the last 5 years, Freddie, and the division that you picked ain't even in the top 3. in the last
Well,
5
I
years.
just know one thing.
No, you don't know.
My brother
You're
Jay
talking.
Ness is over here. He's depressed. He's
I'm not
hurt.
depressed.
He's sad because his team is at home with my team on
You know
the
what you
couch
need? You
eating
need
potato
someone.
chips.
You know what you need, Freddie? You need someone
And
in
can
the
we go ahead and
background.
say Dak? We might
No,
well say
hold
Dak
on.
might. Is Dak Prescott better than Kyler Murray?
So you just want to keep talking because you know that I got you the pin. You
Can we
need
have
a
that
theatrical. You need someone to run your theatrics. I need light shows. I need smoke, and I need all
Hey,
that stuff when
is
you talk
Dak
because
Prescott
that's
better
what
than
you
Kyler
do.
Murray?
You throw theatrics, bro.
Better
You
than
throw-
Kyler Murray.
Hey, put that up there. Where's Damien? Thank you, Damien. If I can send you a tip, bro.
Damien,
Thank you.
that sounds cute and all. But when was the last
You can leave
how
Damien
many
alone.
Super Bowl, how many bowls do the Cardinals have?
Bowls,
Oh,
or now
okay.
you going college?
I got you.
You be answering your own
And
question.
by the way, are they more relevant?
you
Are they more
bugging.
relevant? Because hey, let's play this. The Cardinals got bounced out the first round.
But
And
Robert,
hey,
now
and
let's speak
if
on that
recent,
real
we go
quick.
about recent
Yeah,
history,
'cause I was
the
about to
Lakers
say-
let they'll get out bounced out the
Hold
first
on,
round.
Freddie. Hold on. Put a
Freddie
pin in
just
it.
talking.
Hold on,
Freddie
Freddie.
just talking.
Put a
At
pin
this
in it,
point,
'cause
Freddie just talking. But
yeah,
no,
I'm gonna get back to you, Jay. I need you to address this because
yes,
this has been a Cliff Kingsbury problem for
All right,
what about
coach.
the last 3 years?
no,
So
longer
touch
than
on
that. That longer than that. And
no, I'm just talking about with the Cardinals. I'm talking about with the
okay,
Cardinals specifically.
then yes. Then yes.
Yeah. I'm just talking about the specific. Yeah, because back in college, he's still
same
been known
thing.
for this as well. Yeah.
And you
And
know
by the
what,
way,
guys?
real quick,
But Jay don't think
Anthony,
the
here you
coach
go,
is the
brother.
problem.
There you go. I gotta pass it to you. But go ahead, bro.
I'm going to put an asterisk on this half on Cliff. And the reason being is Cliff had everything rolling right. Cliff was doing decent with play calling. Cliff had do you guys also understand that we took in a whole lot of personalities on defense? Okay, yeah, our offense we did, but our defensive end of the ball, we took Marcus Golden in, who is a QB eater. Then you got Chandler Jones, a QB eater. Then you got JJ Watt, a QB eater. You put all those on the line, and you got to stretch those numbers out because they want the calls. So he was able to manage that as well. The one thing about Cliff that I am upset at is over the second half of the season, his play calling went to crap. If you look at the beginning of the season, we were running the ball first and passing second. We were letting the running game open up our play action. We weren't pushing Kyler Murray out the pocket. We were keeping Kyler Murray in the pocket as long as we could. Then the second half of the season comes around. Now we're having the issue of, and another thing I've noticed, I think Chase Edmonds was a Cliff guy. Because as soon as Chase Edmonds would come back, they would go right back to him. And they would dismantle or leave James Conner. And that's something I picked up on. It took a while, but that's something I picked up on later on that I feel like I feel like Chase Edmonds was like the Cliff's guy. So there's a few things that I saw that really pissed me off in the sense of Cliff changed up in the second half. You're supposed to make adjustments, but you're supposed to make adjustments to improve, not make adjustments and take away from what's working. It was almost like he did an experiment.
All right.
Oh, yeah, pride. To go back to what you were talking about all four teams in the division being over 500. I was looking at it's happened 7 times that all 4 teams have been at least 500, but it's never happened where all 4 teams were over 500.
So okay, because I know there have been times where it's been at least 500 over. I just wasn't sure if it was any team like them being over 500. So,
and here's the other thing that
it's happened 6 times, but that's just being at 500.
Gotcha. All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Here's the cap on that conversation, though. Pride is we've had 2 teams in the playoffs in the NFC almost every single year for the past 6 years, and then we had 3 teams in the playoffs this year. There's no other team in the NFL. I mean, there's no other division in the NFL that's as strong as the NFC West. Period, hands down. And even us, we scared a whole lot of people this year because of the way we went in. And then you got the Rams. The Rams are strong as heck. They went out and got Von Miller. They got Aaron Donald. They got Ramsey. They went out and got OBJ. They went out and got Matthew Stafford. They got Cooper Kupp. They went out and got Sony Michel. They got went out and got Cam Akers. Like they got a star-studded team as well. So then you switch over and you look at
if Russell Wilson don't get hurt, who knows what Seattle does?
Yeah, you got Russ, you got Carson, you got DK.
Yes, and that went to my point. That was the point I was trying to make. Like, and now again, I'm not gonna say they would have been over 500 because you don't really know, but it's a possibility. Who knows? But I don't know, man. And Freddie, I understand what you're saying about
this dude. Freddie ain't even here to talk. He's just staring at himself like he look good or something.
But I understand what you're saying. But let's
Pride,
be fair.
Pride, hold on, Pride. See, one thing about difference between me and you, I don't let things creep around. I address the problem in the building. One thing you didn't let Jay come in and say, "Oh, the Rams got this. The Rams got that."
Did you hear the context of the conversation? We weren't talking about the Rams. We weren't talking about the Rams and the Cardinals.
Care about your little soft, weak excuses. Yesterday, Pride, you let this man come on here and say,
"I wasn't on yesterday."
Our NFL players was tired on Monday night. Please, I don't want to hear that. Give me a legit. Say y'all suck. Say that y'all were
Actually,
y'all was a flat out embarrassment on Monday Night Football. Say that y'all dropped the ball.
When you speak on stuff that I say, please do it right. So what I said was fire DJ Humphries because he took a break. You can't be tired and be one of the highest paid players in the league at that position. So again, when you speak about stuff I said fire the man.
No. You said they was tired. That's what you said.
No, I didn't. I said DJ Humphries took a break and he should be fired. Please find
I was about to say, Freddie, check on that. The only time I remember him saying anything about being tired was about DJ because I remember him and I got into it because he said what other linemen,
takes a break.
And I remember that kind of went into that.
We were talking about
I do remember that.
We were talking about how we usually don't see offensive linemen take a break.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
So
you can push whatever narrative you want, but remember, I drive my own boat.
I've seen teams rotate linemen, by the way.
Jay, shut up.
I've seen teams rotate their
push
linemen,
whatever narrative you want, but I drive my own boat.
Can we go ahead and say that Kyler Murray isn't that dude? I mean,
we can't say nothing.
We've seen that in the biggest moment. We've seen that in the biggest moment. We've seen it in the biggest moment. And what have he done?
What?
What do you mean?
What?
Yeah. Thank you, Brian.
Monday night was a big moment, wasn't it? Yes or no?
Yeah, it was. It was. I understand.
So what did he do?
But again, the sample size is small.
But the small sample size that we saw is that he can't handle the pressure. We talk about a Matthew Stafford.
Hold on, Freddie.
He's shining the biggest light.
So Freddie, let me go based on your logic. Matthew Stafford, right? He only threw the ball 17 times, right? When the pressure was big, he played like a game manager. So does that mean he's a game manager then?
It means that one quarterback took what
That's not an answer to the question.
Freddie, it's a yes or no question.
That's not the answer to the question.
It's a yes or no question, Freddie. I love it from Kyler Murray. You said
no,
what?
we weren't because you went too far. So it's a yes or no.
No. I'm not going to answer how you want to answer. I'm going to answer how I answer.
No, but
that's evasive.
It's a yes or no question, though.
But like I said, I was saying,
very evasive.
Matthew Stafford went into the game and did whatever it takes to help his team win. Kyler Murray could not get the job done. The pressure rose up too high. The Arizona Cardinals. You know what?
We're back to the Cardinals. I know you are.
I know Arizona. It's a sad day in the desert. It's a sad week in the desert.
Well, they're fine because they still got the Phoenix Suns, so they're fine. But
down there.
Yeah, they got.
Let's be fair here. Like, they're upset. But Freddie, I get it. They're upset.
I'm not upset. I'm loving every bit of it. I'm
loving
every bit of it.
Hey, you know what, Pride? You know what, Pride? It's so funny because Freddie don't even listen. He just responds to like words. So you said, I know they are upset. Freddie said, I'm not upset.
I'm not upset.
But again, he didn't even hear what I just said right now. He responds to words, bro. He don't even listen.
Nah. But here's the thing. But Freddie, again, let me ask you the question one more time. It's a simple yes or a simple no. It's not an essay question. You don't gotta give me an autobiography on your life, Freddie. It's just a simple yes or a simple no.
I'll give you yes or no question.
Matthew Stafford, when that win, played like a game manager. So does that mean he himself is a game manager now?
No, it don't make
so
a game
okay.
manager.
So, but he has a very small sample size, correct? So how is it
Correct.
fair
Just
for you
like
to
Kyler
say no? He's not a
Just
game
like
manager,
Kyler Murray.
but then say
Exactly,
Kyler
thank
Murray
you.
is horrible. Like you just
Kyler
and
Murray.
again, and for context, Chris, Jay, y'all can back me up on this. I did bring up the fact that Matthew Stafford played like a game manager, and someone had asked me if that's how I look at him. And what did I say? The sample size was
Can
too
you
small.
add this? Can you add this context to that? Matthew Stafford has already had 2 playoff games in his career and lost both of them in horrible fashion.
Well, he's 1
So
and
now
2. His
let's go back
narrative
to your
is changing
context.
around
Hold
him. The
Hold on. Let's
small
go back to your
sample size that we've
context.
seen about Kyler Murray, we've seen that he's come up small. No pun intended, because he's a small player, but he come up small and he can't handle the pressure in a small sample size.
So are you going to be hypocritical and say it only your statements only work for Kyler, or are you going to be straightforward all the way across the board?
That's everybody.
Okay. Just
Okay, so hold on.
So what are you
saying?
saying?
Hold on. No. I want to play this game with you, Freddie. I want to play this game
Let's
with you.
play.
I want to play this game with you. By your logic, Daniel Jones is horrible because he can't even get to those big moments.
If you want to say that, yeah.
So he's horrible then.
Yeah.
You know what? Freddie is so pride. You can't use that name no more. Switch it over to Freddie. He's very prideful.
Matter of fact,
he just sat here. He just sat here and went against everything he said all year long.
And he just said it earlier this show too. He literally just said it earlier. He said he would take Daniel Jones over Dak Prescott. I swear to God.
Dak Prescott haven't done nothing yet either, have he?
So the whole NFL's trash.
What has he done in the big moments?
So wait,
he's 1 and 3 in the playoffs. What has he done in the big moments, Jay? Oh, exactly.
Are you asking me a question? Did you want me to answer that? You
didn't say nothing.
Oh, because you didn't give me a chance. You don't breathe. You don't take a pause.
You still ain't said nothing.
Yo, Chris, I love it here.
So anyways, Dak Prescott has done way more in big moments than Daniel Jones has ever had. In fact, hold on. Let me finish. Don't interrupt. Daniel Jones, his team sucks so bad he hasn't even been in a big moment.
See, ladies and gentlemen, he can't even answer the damn question because he's too busy.
So no. My question, your answer to your question is Dak Prescott made it to the playoffs. Dak Prescott actually won a playoff clinching game. Name me one time Daniel Jones has been in a playoff clinching game.
Well, name a time when Daniel Jones.
We're gonna name a time.
I'll let you talk. So now
I asked the question.
Name a time Daniel Jones have played against an elite offensive line. Name a time when he had Amari Cooper on the side of him, when he had Gallup on the side of him, when he had
Wait a minute.
When he had Zeke Elliott, Tony Pollard. Name a time, Jay. Name a time.
Hold on, Jay, real quick. If you
turn your volume down.
This is what I love to do, Chris. I don't know if you've noticed this, right? But when I lean back, right? When I lean back like this, that does not mean I'm bored. Does not mean I concede defeat. It just means I'm listening. Y'all ever seen the cartoons, Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner? This is what I love to do. I love to just dig a hole, right? And just put like leaves and stuff on top. And I just love when people just run by. And I just wait and I'm patient. And as soon as they go over, whoop, right? So you're giving Daniel Jones the pass for a horrible offensive line. Can I ask you a question? What did Kyler Murray have to work with?
Hey, stop putting the mic in your mouth and yelling at the same time. Stop putting the mic in your mouth and yelling at the same time. Do one of the other.
Chris, before we end this topic,
you just don't listen.
I want to show something to Jay and let him know that you won't see this field no more in the playoffs. Say goodbye because they're going home.
Hey, you know what?
Goodbye.
That's fine. Because you've never seen yours.
Actually, I have. I've seen us win 2 Super Bowls.
Oh, how long ago was that?
It don't matter how long ago.
Are we talking about today? Only when we talk about Joe's stuff do we talk about the past.
Exactly.
Only when we talk about Joe's stuff do we talk about the past. See, Freddie, I've learned about you. I've learned you got like this cloak. You just like float through.
About me.
Hey,
my book
Anthony, I like how Freddie answers questions, bro. Man, he's very evasive, bro. You know, he's very evasive. He only does stuff that's geared towards making him look good. If it don't make him look good, he's gonna run away from it. See, I've learned it already. I've already learned.
Sports that you don't Jay, what do you think? What do you think Kyler Murray has to do for the Cardinals to pick up his 5th-year option next year?
I don't think he has to do much. I think he's already solidified that he deserves his 5th-year option pickup. We just sat here, and Freddie can pretend all he wants, but we just sat here and went through basically 8 quarterbacks. And are we really going to be improving at the quarterback position if we go and get a Dak Prescott? How much of a difference is that? We got to change our whole offense around. If we go get a Baker Mayfield, we're going downwards. If we go get there's not many quarterbacks out there that are going to
be much better. He wouldn't have choked the other night.
There's nobody on the market really, unless Rodgers or somebody like that moves, that's going to be better than Murray.
And you want to know the guy on the truth? I wouldn't even do that.
No, because then you're giving up
assets.
assets.
Kyler Murray,
right?
You know what I mean. You have a dude in Kyler Murray.
That's what I'm saying. You don't want to bring in an old guy because you have a good young guy.
Like, come on now. Let's be fair here. You know what I mean? Like, and Freddie, I understand what you're saying. And listen,
if you get Russell Wilson, would you do that?
Oh, he says I can't wait when Aaron Rodgers gets kicked out of the playoffs.
So the Russell Wilson thing, that would be the only quarterback, and besides him and Justin Herbert, that I would just take and for Kyler and just be okay with not having to change anything on my offense.
I was gonna say you would have to change the whole offense with Russell.
Right. I can Justin Herbert and Russell Wilson can jump right in and nothing can change. But I think that because of what we're talking about, if we went to them to trade, they would want at least 1 to 2 first-round picks because we're coming to them. Yeah. So in that standpoint, I don't do that because now we're giving up future for what? If we're getting Russell, we're giving up future. We're really giving up future. If we're getting Justin, we're giving up possible weapons for him. So
Deshaun Watson could be another guy that fits that offense, but you don't know what's going on with the legal stuff and all that.
Yeah. Jay, you think Hopkins is the answer when he can't stay healthy, plus what you do with AJ Green. So as far as Hopkins, Anthony, Hopkins is the answer, hands down. There's no other debate about it. It's
unless you trade for Devontae Adams. That's it.
Yeah, no, it's Devontae Adams, it's DeAndre Hopkins. Yes. Those are the two. Everybody else is about 12 spots behind him in a faraway second.
I don't know about 12.
Name who's close third.
I'm gonna tell you, man. I gotta see a little bit more.
Kenny Galladay.
I didn't ask you that. Who's close third?
I'm telling you. You don't have to ask me. I'm telling you.
Kenny Galladay, Sterling Shepard.
Evan Ingram, Craig, Tony, all of them guys. Yeah, you're right, Prod. You bugging. If we see Cooper Kupp performing the way he did this year, another year, time to have that conversation.
No, Jay, hold on, Jay.
They're not the same. But they're not the same. They're not even the same.
Jay.
It's not even the same.
Jay, I'm going to tell you this right now. If Cooper Kupp does this again next year, he's in the conversation for third.
You want
to
know why it's not the same?
Conversation. I think he's got third locked down.
But here's why it's not the same, guys. If you put Cooper Kupp, it's not. Listen to me. If you put Cooper Kupp in Chicago, he's not doing that. You put
Devontae Adams.
Hold on. You put DeAndre Hopkins and you put Devontae Adams in Chicago, they're still going to perform to their caliber. All you got to do is
maybe D-Hop, sure, because we've seen D-Hop ball out with horrible quarterbacks, of course.
But I think Devontae can do that too. Let's not take anything from Devontae, Bo. Just because he's had Aaron Rodgers, we don't. And I'll agree with you.
Cooper Kupp.
I'll agree with that
Chicago.
Part.
You don't know.
But here's the thing we do know.
He worked with golf as well.
Here's what we do know. What we do know is the skill set of Devontae Adams and DeAndre Hopkins can work with anything. All you got to do is be able to throw the ball up in their section, and they can go get it. Cooper Kupp, you got to be somewhat.
Devontae Adams isn't a jump ball guy. What do you mean?
Devontae Adams, he's not a jump ball guy to compare to DeAndre Hopkins, but Devontae Adams is going up to get the ball before. He's going up to get the ball before a lot of these other guys that we talk about. Let's not pretend.
He's the equivalent. He's like Michael Thomas, bro. They're finesse dudes. They run routes.
Right.
Oh, well, see, Michael Thomas can. All right, I'll take that comparison because Michael Thomas will still go up and get it. He's just not going to go up and get it every time. He's just not that. I'm going to take flight every time. So I'll give you that. Michael Thomas was a great player.
This is something that.
But what? How tall is Devontae Adams?
Hey, Prod, this is what Cooper Kupp did with Jared Goff, okay? Jared Goff, who a lot of people say is not that good of a quarterback, okay? So this is without Matthew Stafford. This is without an Odell Beckham Jr. This is without all those weapons.
Wait, by the way, Devontae Adams is 6'1".
Okay.
In 2019, he had 94 receptions, nothing but 1,161 yards, okay? Average 12.4 carry. Had 10 TDs. Pretty good. Then the next year had 92. He only had 974, 25 yards away from another 1,000-yard season. This year, 145 receptions for 1,947 yards, 16 TDs. So we've seen him without Matthew Stafford and still put up pretty good numbers. So let's not sit up here and say, without this quarterback, don't do that, Jay.
Nobody said that.
Man. He's that.
Nobody said anything about Matthew Stafford.
You tried to make it seem that way.
I didn't say anything about Matthew Stafford.
You did.
What I'm saying is, you guys didn't. Where I was going.
No, because you said if you put
on Chicago, and then I never got to finish because we got drug off.
But yeah, and Freddie's point is we've seen Cooper Kupp do this with another quarterback. And to be fair,
I'm not worried about the quarterback.
Good
it's
morning,
not the quarterback
Mike.
in this one, Pride, because Cooper Kupp has an outside receiver that you're gonna have to watch. Cooper Kupp has a tight end that you really have to watch. Cooper Kupp has running backs in the backfield that you got to pay attention to.
And he's still getting double teamed and making plays.
But listen, the double team is not the same. Here, they're double teaming him with linebackers, bro. Pride, they're double teaming with linebackers.
Jay, you reaching.
We had Simmons, we had Hicks trying to guard Cooper Kupp, bro. And you can't do much because that's what the Rams offense is so dangerous, because you got two wideouts outside, then you got Cooper Kupp, then you got Higbee. Like, it's too much. And that's how they get you. You can't cover everybody.
So you don't think Kupp could be a number one receiver on a different team out of that system?
I don't think
the instant you said
I don't think Cooper Kupp can be as productive without as many weapons around him.
So I was sleeping, right? Minding my business.
And then happened.
And I heard this ringing, and I only hear it if I hear Stafford slander. So who's talking shit over here?
No, we not. No. There's no Stafford.
So let me ask you this, Mike. Let me ask you this, because you just came in.
Mm-hmm.
No, go ahead, Bryce. Go ahead. You start.
Because Mike, here's what's going on. We're not slandering Stafford. Jay's slandering Cooper Kupp, right? Because what me and Freddie are saying,
Chris, slander.
Yeah, and what me and Freddie are saying, and Chris, I think you agree with us.
Yeah, I agree with you.
We're basically saying, if Cooper Kupp does basically have another great year like he had this year, doesn't have to win the Triple Crown, but if he has a great year next year, you could make the argument that he's the third best receiver in the game. That's what we're saying.
He is the third best receiver. I don't think he's as close to those two.
I think he sits at 3.
Mike.
I think he perfectly sits at 3. I don't think he's anywhere near 1 or 2. But at the end of the day, 1 and 2 are in their own little category of who they are.
Correct.
And my thing is, it's not even about, Adams having Rodgers, because at the end of the day, Adams is the one that's running the routes. Adams is just a great route runner. He has great hands. He has great intangibles. And at the end of the day, you have Rodgers, but Adams is the one that has to go out there and do that, not Rodgers. But I think Kupp is right there with the best of them. And just because, even nowadays, just because DeMar DeRozan's at 4 in MVP race, that doesn't take any credit away from him that he's nowhere close to being Kevin Durant or Steph Curry or LeBron James.
Right.
It's just you're at 4 because of how great these guys are. He's still at 3, and it's an honor to be at 3. It's just, I don't know.
Mike, thank you for coming on this morning, because J-Tune has definitely changed into another sound.
You noticed that too, right, Freddie?
You know what it is?
You know why? Because he's speaking some realness.
Yeah,
your whole position changed now.
Who would be the next receiver closest to 3?
The
Justin
next
Jefferson
receiver closest to 3. I think you really got to look at it, and it's what you want. I would say it's D-Hop, obviously, is in the conversation. Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, and then I guess you could kind of make the argument to see where Michael Thomas is at when he returns. But you gotta put Jamar Chase up there because Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson are doing their thing. So Michael might lose top 5 because of those two.
Well,
I think Mike Evans is in the top 5.
Pretty damn good when he's healthy as well.
Yeah, you got Evans, you got Godwin, you got a lot of cats out there. That
Keenan Allen, I didn't know he died.
Keenan Allen's one of those situations. Hey, Pride.
Right, Mike, thank you, Mike. Thank you for being on, Mike. How we finna slander Keenan Allen?
I didn't slander him.
I
just said he's aging, so I think we've seen his peak, and all of these other guys are in their prime right now. So I think he loses that category just because of the competition around him.
I don't care how old you are, you're still performing.
You know what, Pride? You guys are too trigger happy. You don't let people speak.
Hey, you know what?
This is dictatorship.
Hold on, Pride.
I know they use him in different ways, but
they definitely do.
It's technically a wide receiver.
We need to give Mike Evans some love too. This is the guy the last 8 seasons
we did give him
1,000+ yards. So I mean, hey, he's top 4 as well. I mean, you gotta give him some love as well. I mean, he's doing.
Hold on, real quick. Think about it. Cup won't break records like this year if he's the number 1 receiver, and that's what I think. I disagree.
Thank you, Anthony. I 100% agree with you, and that's what I was trying to convey.
No, I disagree, and that's because he was just the number 1 receiver.
He's the number 1 receiver this year.
No, he wasn't. No, the heck he wasn't.
Who? Yes, he was. Yes,
who was the number 1 receiver? No, Jay. Listen, I love you and all, but I swear to God, bro, this is one of those moments where I really question you because early in the season, people were violating Sean McVay because they thought Robert Woods was supposed to be the number 1, and he wasn't getting the targets. Cooper Kupp was. Are you?
So let me ask you guys. Let me ask you guys a question. So if I go into the season and I pick Mike as my number 1 receiver, Pride is my number 2 receiver, Freddie is my number 3 receiver, and that's the way it's set up. But Pride is figuring out how to get open because people are doubling over here and doubling over here. That makes you my number 1 receiver? No, that makes you my most productive receiver.
Holy shit. I swear to
God. That makes you my. But that doesn't mean that you're the number 1 option.
I mean, yes, it does.
Yes, it changes. It changes.
I saw the same exact thing happen to Allen Robinson this year with the Chicago Bears.
The number 1 receiver was supposed to be Robert Woods.
Right.
He was supposed to be the number 1 receiver.
Right.
What had happened was Cooper Kupp started balling. He then became the number 1. They doubled him.
So you're basing number 1 off of who's getting the most targets, right?
Okay. How do you define a number 1?
Well, Pride, wait, Pride. Before anything, I think when I look at it, and I just wanted to make sure I'm hearing you correctly, because I just don't want to get it twisted, because you a little tight today, my boy, and I see.
Nah, because I just don't understand the disrespect.
But when I look at the situation, I think of Allen Robinson with the Bears this year. I think, going into the season, established number 1. He already had several 1,000-yard seasons, and at the end of the year, has 200 yards. Darnell Mooney has gone over 1,000. Darnell Mooney has become Fields' favorite target. And
so what does that mean then? So what does that mean?
Well, to me, it means that Darnell is becoming the new number 1.
Thank you.
Exactly.
But the problem is, it doesn't mean that Allen can't be a number 1.
We didn't say that.
That's not the
Nobody
conversation.
said that.
That's what I'm trying to understand.
Mike, let me just clarify. I'm not saying Robert Woods can't be the number 1. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
What I'm saying is going into the season, he was supposed to be the number 1. That was he was supposed to. For some reason, Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp had this great kind of connection.
Right.
That it ended up taking off, and then Cooper Kupp became the number 1. If he wasn't the number 1, why would Matthew Stafford still target him when he's getting double teamed?
Right, and that's my thing is where you
they bring in. By the way, real quick, Anthony Price says, so Pride, hold on. If Kupp was on the Bears with no other good receiver, is he still the same? I think he's still in the ballpark.
I think he's in the ballpark, but
I think he's still in the ballpark.
Let me ask you that on that question, Pride.
But I think he's still
the touchdowns are probably very bad.
Cooper Kupp had 95 more receptions than anybody else on the Rams team this season.
Right.
That's flat out number 1 number.
No, it's not. It's not number 1. He's not number 1.
But but again, he wasn't. But they weren't like. You guys got to look. And
he had the most targets.
Rodney Woods was.
Thank you. Preach, Chris.
But he's in a position in the Rams where he's running out of slot. They're moving him around. They're putting him in positions where he will be open. It's just like when DeAndre Hopkins, the first 3 weeks, DeAndre Hopkins is hands down Arizona's number one. But the first 3 weeks, Christian Kirk was getting a lot of targets. Rondale Moore was getting a lot of targets because they were done up on DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins is still our number one. We just only throwing it to him 3 or 4 times because he's covered
notice
like
what
hell.
you said. Notice what you said. 3 weeks.
I mean, but
3 weeks.
When you
they've
look
been
at
targeting him every single game. Every week they've been. The only time Cooper Kupp was not the number one receiver was on their bye week.
No, I don't know, bro. I don't think you're not catching what I'm saying. I'm not arguing that.
He was targeted 190 times and had 145 catches.
What's the argument though? Like,
I don't understand because all I'm saying is
he was the number one.
This is Jay that don't believe Cooper Kupp is the number one.
No, I definitely do think he was the number one, but I think there's a lot of number ones on that team. I think Odell could be a number one. I think
and that's not a debate.
Number one.
Of course.
And like that. And Pride, that was my conversation. That was my tie-in with the Bears. Is that Mooney has become the number one, but
that's
Allen still can be. You know what I mean?
Me agree. Yeah. Me and Pride didn't come over and say that.
But Jay, to your point, I definitely would say, you know, when you have 10 plus touchdowns and like Chris said, 95% of the targets in the offense, then you're definitely going to be described as the number one target this year.
No, and look, Mike, because they didn't really give you a real gist of what I was trying to put, and what I'm saying is that Cooper Kupp. No, it was Benny you in Pride Fought, not now.
Listen, Pride 2.0, I don't want to hear this slander.
No, but listen, what I was saying was Cooper Kupp right now, yes, on the LA Rams, he's the number one, but he's not really a number one receiver. You put him in Chicago, you put him in a place where he doesn't have other number ones around him, other talent around him, and it's just him on that team. Like McLaurin out in Washington. If you put Cooper Kupp over in Washington and you take McLaurin off of it, you get those type of results because now they're able to double on him. Now they're able to focus on him. They can't focus on him the same way.
Doubling him for the second half of the
but not
season.
the same way.
See,
not the same
now
way.
it's not the same way.
OBJ, hold on.
I figured it out. Let me tell you what. I found out what it is. In order for that double to count,
he was in Los Angeles.
No, Chris.
Yes.
I found out what it was. I googled it real quick.
Enough with the joke. Real quick, let me finish
this
so
is
you
what
can really
it means
understand.
to be double. You need to have Troy Polamalu in his prime.
Hey,
hold on.
You need to have Troy Polamalu.
Wait, 1 second. 1 second.
Because you're saying wild stuff.
Because you're telling a joke.
Because
you never understand that you don't
understand realistic.
Look,
like,
so
I'm
what I'm trying to say is on the outside,
he'll get so much love.
No. Anyways, that was dumb. Anyways, on the outside, when OBJ is on the outside, we're guarding him, we're doubling him with a safety and a corner.
Right.
When Cooper Kupp is inside, we have 2 linebackers doubling him. You guys are understanding.
So he's getting tripled what you're saying, plus the corner that's already on him.
Nope. All right, I'm done with it. You're not listening. I watch.
Because you're making no sense.
So many excuses.
You're making no sense whatsoever.
You know what?
You're acting like he's just running slants. He runs deep and then puts someone on him. And when they put someone on him, he's still getting doubled and he's making the play.
No, you guys know I come with facts. I'm about to cut a play. I'm about to cut a play and load it up, and we're gonna watch a replay, and I'm gonna break it down for you. Give me a few moments.
Cut up one play that he runs a slant. Cut up one play that he runs a slant, and that he gets doubled by a linebacker.
I'm not gonna get you a slant.
Again, you won't bring up.
I'm not gonna get you a
when he's running fly routes.
I'm gonna get you coming out of the slot.
He's running a corner when he's doing a deep in. You won't bring that up because the linebacker's not on him. It's a corner and the safety. But again, Cooper Kupp is dog shit. I just don't.
And that's why today I named Freddie 2.0 because you and him have the same tendencies. You like to hear each other's voices. So again, I'll be right back.
What you just sat up here and did, sat up here and did this morning, me and Pride said this way, and you said, "Oh, let me find this excuse for every excuse in the world." Next topic.
Like, come on, bro. Like, that makes no sense whatsoever, man. Like, talking about, Cooper Kupp can't do. Like, what? What?
Go seen him with Jared Goff throwing him the football.
All right, hold on, Freddie. You have me, bro. Don't disrespect Jared Goff. He's
I'm just saying most folks disrespect the man.
But if you go by he has there's other weapons on that team, you can say that about any other number one receiver in football. Most teams have a pretty good number two guy that can take over a game if they are doubling or tripling their number one, and they can't get nothing going with them. So I mean, it's not like other teams don't have, like the Rams are the only team that have multiple weapons.
I'm not penalizing a dude just because he's in a situation. I'm not penalizing a guy for that.
I think no one does it to Mike Evans, so I'm not gonna do it to Cooper.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, come on, let's be honest here.
And no one's done it to Tyreek, and no one's done it to
none at all. None at all. Here's the thing. By your logic, Travis Kelce is not a top 2 tight end because he's got plenty of help around him.
Yeah.
Like really?
I was with Jay. I was with Jay to a point, but I can't do Cooper slander. I can't do no.
And here's the thing, and Mike, I agree with you. They got plenty of guys offensively that could be a number one, of course. That's not my point. My point is he's still the number one, and he can still be the number one.
I think the conversation is Jamar Chase going into the season couldn't even catch a football, and he wasn't your number one. It was T. Higgins, it was Boyd, it was whoever. And that's a heavy room. That's a heavy room of wide receivers. But you have to say Jamar's the clear-cut number one now. I don't know.
No, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the play. I'm waiting for the play.
Next topic, please.
No, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for this mystical play that's just gonna be him running one slant. I'm telling you,
y'all be running a short route in the morning, man. Y'all got
no, because here's the thing. I'm not gonna accept slander on Cooper Kupp. When he's been a very respectable wide receiver up until this point.
Yeah. First of all, wait, the video is almost done, but I didn't Cooper Kupp slander anything because when we started this, I told y'all.
You did.
No, I didn't. I said that I don't think Cooper Kupp is that close to DeAndre Hopkins and Devontae Adams.
You said that he will not be the number one option.
I agree with that.
That's what you said.
We were talking. No. We were talking, Chris.
That's what you said.
You were on here. We were talking about DeAndre Hopkins and Devontae Adams, and they turned this into Cooper Kupp.
You have
I agree with Jay to that point to where Cooper Kupp isn't anywhere near as talented as those guys are.
We're not talking about that no more, Mike.
He's entering his prime, and he's
right, but we're not talking about that no more. Jay came on here and he said if Cooper Kupp goes somewhere else,
right, what I'm saying is like if Jay's not trying to confine that narrative into that, and you guys are just kind of arguing about something
you guys are pushing that, said. Yeah.
But no, just that.
The words came out of your mouth.
That's why Pride and Pride 2.0 is up on the screen right now,
guys. And this is what Jay does all
They're
the time.
They're gonna keep driving it.
And when someone gives him an out, he takes it. Those words came out of your mouth. You said him on Chicago. He's not doing the same thing. Those words came out of your mouth.
Washington as well.
Dustin, Chris, how are you guys doing today?
You said that.
Next topic, please.
I did say that. That's not Cooper Kupp slander.
No, I don't think Kupp is close to Adams and Hopkins, but I think Kupp is number one receiver.
Yeah, and I didn't say he wasn't a number one. I said that he's not capable of doing the same thing in Chicago or Washington.
Bro, you got amnesia. You literally forgot.
It's a shame. It's a shame because Jay, usually you are you're very to the point. You're very consistent.
You know what's good about this, guys? You know what's good about this?
You got amnesia. Next topic, please.
Nope.
You know what's good about this? It's all recorded, and when you're done, I want you to watch it back.
No, you need to go rewatch because you clearly forgot what you said.
And you get it out doesn't change anything.
As soon as Mike gets in here, the entire dynamic changes.
It changes.
Very peculiar.
Change how he talks, how he carrying himself, everything.
I am not
Mike, you're a strong individual because this man has changed his tune.
I'm just not.
No, Mike. I just needed another person on a level playing field because Pride 1 and Pride 2.0 are.
Well, you're beat. No, you're wrong. If you want to level the playing field, just be right.
I love y'all, but I'm gonna just say, like, I disagree with Jay if that was the narrative he was pushing, but I just wasn't hostile about it.
It was.
Y'all a little toxic today.
Mike, hold on,
that's
Mike.
That's not the narrative I was pushing.
You want to? Yes, it was, Jay. Yes, it was. That was clearly your narrative.
Pridely, do not come at me about being toxic. That is a 12 p.m. and further day for Mike Hughes. You are toxic at 9 in the morning, sir.
Okay.
Can we
Brian,
move on
can we
to
go to the
subject?
next topic? Because clearly, Jaden clearly forgot what he said.
Oh,
So
I got the
being
video.
on this conversation any longer if he can't remember what he stated.
Woke up and chose violence. All of y'all.
Is it
All right,
Sunday?
Play the video. Play the video.
Is
Play
it
the video.
Sunday?
Play the video. Play the video.
Showing up
But
in
one
the-
video.
video is
showing up
not
in
Play the
going
drink
to
and
video.
change
everything.
anything. Anybody go
Hold on,
pull
no,
up
no, hold
one
on. Play the video. Play the video.
Please, get the hell out of here.
Hey, you guys.
Play
I
the
just
video.
want everybody to know. I don't know what happened to
Play
Pride
the
1 and
video.
Pride
We
2.
want the video.
But these two today are on something. They didn't tag team.
Exactly.
They didn't came
Wait,
into
no,
each
hold
other.
on,
What?
hold on,
Bro.
hold on. Play the video.
Listen, I want you guys to understand something. Pride, you do not drive my boat. I told y'all
There's
this.
no video. That's why we can't get a video, Pride.
Video.
Ooh.
That's all I'm here for.
Hey, that is crispy.
Pride, there's no video. That's
That
why
is
we can't
crispy.
get a video.
Can you play the video?
No, the video is right here.
Like the hood.
Hold on.
No, we don't want it. We want it on the screen. Play the video.
I told you don't drive this boat. You go get
Exactly.
it.
Play the
You
video.
figure out
Hey,
how to
wait,
cut a
wait,
clip.
wait,
You cut a clip. You
Exactly.
figure out how to cut a clip.
Let me drive the boat.
Play it. Play the video. Go ahead. Play it.
Let me drive the boat.
The boat ain't driving it, but must be out of gas.
It won't let me load it.
Oh, he want to play it through his phone. Play where everybody can see it. That's
Oh, Jay.
All right, can you rewind it?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, no.
Those are the type of things that Cooper Cup does. Those are linebackers, guys.
See, yo, what I say?
Hold
What
on,
I
let
say?
me run it
This is a
back.
big of a
Let me
short
run it
route.
back.
Now, do me a favor. Hold on. Do me a favor. Bring me something when he goes deep. Please.
All right.
Look
So
up
what I'm
something
gonna do
when he
now
do the
is
same thing.
hold on.
Bring the same energy.
Hold on.
What I say,
Why do
Freddie?
you guys do that?
Why
Why do you guys do that? Why do you guys like say something?
Pride, that's why I say just carry on because this
Mike.
dude here gonna bring up one little video.
Mike.
to
I
prove
can't even
his
have a
little
conversation.
point, But don't
He's
move, don't
screaming
move
and
nothing.
stuff.
The conversation's nonsensical.
Because as soon as Mike joined the show, his tune, his demeanor, his personality, everything changed. Next topic, please.
You know why? Because I
He
felt
clearly
like I was
forgot
being
what he
tag
about it
team.
well.
I felt like I was being tag team by Pride 1 and Pride 2, Dumb and Dumber, and then Mike came in and settled the thing and made it a little bit even.
Well, I mean, hey, Pride, you know what? I take that as a compliment because if he that scared, he got to run. He got to get Mike on the show to bag him up. We already know what it is.
First of all, Mike Hughes was awoken
Please stop yelling.
by Stafford slander. That's what started it all.
Then you come on to hear Jay talking about Cooper slander. Next topic, Pride, please.
I'm glad we can run this back.
So moving on from Cooper Kupp being a horrible wide receiver, he's complete and utter dog shit. He did not deserve the Triple Crown, and the Rams should immediately cut him because he is a waste of space, a waste of a roster spot, and just an overall waste in any type of athletic competition. Frank Vogel's on thin ice with the Lakers. You know, I don't know who's I don't know.
Hey,
who's
since
worse.
you segued into
Cooper
that,
Kupp
you
playing
better
wide
give them
receiver,
the
or Frank
same
Vogel
heat.
coaching. I don't know who's
You better
worse,
give
but
them
we
the
gotta figure
same
that
heat.
out real quick.
Oh God.
Lakers are saying that they're
It's like
considering
ramen.
firing Frank Vogel. His tenure with the Lakers is now on a game-to-game basis. I didn't know the game-to-game basis existed. I guess, you know, when you're a horrible wide receiver like Cooper Kupp, you kind of spawn something brand new. So maybe game-to-game is probably something that the people who don't like him say, you know, oh, he's just a game-to-game guy, you know. Freddie, I'm going to start with you. You're a Laker dude.
Release.
Is it true that Frank Vogel is a horrible coach to the equivalency of Cooper Kupp being a horrible wide receiver?
He definitely game-to-game basis, my dude. He clearly not a number one option. So he wasn't the Lakers' number one option. So let's just put that out there. But no, let's be serious.
So y'all settle for less, huh? I'm glad you admitted it.
Serious. Well, I mean, we won the championship.
Yeah. You know
so
about
that's something
less.
that you're
You're
still
Cardinals
trying
fan.
to do. So, but like I was saying,
What did you guys
Frank
get beat by 52, Pride?
Not
Frank
52.
Vogel.
They scored 47. Correct. Yeah. Yep.
Frank
And guess what?
Vogel.
We lost by what? 30-something, Freddie?
My team began walking.
We got smacked, right? Congratulations on
Yeah.
the Cardinals win. Oh!
Like I was saying, Frank Vogel got his bones in the NBA when it comes to defense. The Lakers, have lost, been low expectations of defense by far this year. A lot don't have to go on Frank Vogel because you don't have a lot of defensive-minded players on this team. And if you do, a lot of them are up in age, so they can't keep up with a lot of the younger players. But we expected this defense to be better than they've been all year.
I was telling you
Um,
all season.
so let's just be honest with that. But one thing I did, I'll be surprised if they fire him. I'm not gonna be honest with you because that's just something that the Lakers have never really done, fire a coach in season. And I don't know, um what all can Frank, Frank, what does firing Frank Vogel does to make this team much better? Because we've seen with a David Fizdale that this team was still playing bad defense. They were still turning the ball over. They still shooting the ball bad. They were still losing games. We've seen that. So by firing Frank Vogel in the middle of the season, what does that really do for you? But I really think the players got the
rebuild
message
mode.
After Sunday. And they played, Utah Jazz, the best offensive NBA, and I've seen them step on defense.
Who?
Huh?
Who's the best offense in the NBA?
The Utah Jazz, they're number one ranked offense. I'm not saying they're the best team, but ranked offense.
I think
in the
Memphis
NBA.
is still ranked number one best offense.
No, go look it up. It's Utah.
If I'm mistaken, I think
with that being said,
Utah's number one in points per game. Memphis is number one in offensive efficiency.
Right, but
Okay, got it,
if you really look at it, Freddie, like I get it, like points is that's cool, but like in every category, Memphis is right there at 1 or 2 for every single category.
Well, let's say they played one of the best offensive in the NBA. Okay,
all right, that's fine. It's fine, but
He's trying to give them a up.
No, I'm gonna continue. In the NBA, and I've seen this defense elevate itself the other night. But the thing is, we need to see the Lakers play consistently defense, like they did the other night, and start winning. You can beat these scrub teams, that's cool, but we need to see you beat these top tier teams, and where you can try to turn your season around. But other than that, I do not see them firing Frank Vogel during the season because when Dr. Jerry Buss was alive, God rest his soul. He did not make moves off impulse. That was not his thing, and I believe Jeannie Buss will do the same thing and to continue to run this franchise.
Jay, it feels weird. A couple months ago, Freddie was driving the fire Frank Vogel train, and now all of us, mind you, I never wanted them to fire Frank Vogel.
Jay,
I think Frank Vogel just got dealt a raw hand. You can't be a good defensive team when you don't got defensive players. Let's be honest. Their best defender is an old LeBron James who can't really play defense because he's got to put up 35, 40 points just so that way the Lakers just lose by 15. So when that's your best defender, you're kind of in a weird situation. So it's just kind of interesting to see Freddie kind of all of a sudden just go free Frank Vogel.
Yeah, because what I've seen without Frank Vogel, with David Fizdale, this team did not change. So, yeah.
Go ahead, Jay.
But, Pride, here's the thing. And I've said this a lot. I think that LeBron is a player's coach. It's very difficult to get a coach that has a better basketball mind than LeBron James. To me, on the basketball court, LeBron James has the best basketball mind as a player that's left in the game today. And so when you go out and you're picking a coach to coach one of the best men in basketball today, you really got to get somebody that has something behind them. Otherwise, there's no reason for them to be there. Right. You know what I mean? Like you have to have something behind them so that it means something. Like he can say something meaningful to make a change. Because right now, if you're looking at me and we're losing, and you got this guy that I don't believe is as smart as LeBron on the floor, and LeBron's the one that's leading the team, I'm gonna listen to LeBron. And I think a lot of times when they get into these type of when LeBron teams get into these type of situations, that's one of the things that happen as well. Honestly, I don't fire Frank Vogel. You guys, it's not a coaching thing. You guys put this roster together. You knew what you were putting together. This isn't a coaching thing. This is the general manager thing. This is who you guys put on the floor. I don't know if a coach besides Phil Jackson, Coach K, I don't know a coach besides like Phil Jackson or Coach K or somebody that could just come in overnight and change this.
Oh man, that would be.
But you ready to hear the funny part, Jay? I don't think any coach can change this. I said the funny thing is
I know it's rough, Pride. It's rough because look, you talk about defense, and Melo is your defender, and I mean Melo is not your defender. I'm sorry, he's not the best defender on the floor when he's on the floor. Then I don't know. There's a lot of little spots, but the worst part about this to me is the Jazz. They beat the Jazz last night. They're about to have a 3-game winning streak. And it's messed up because all you got to do for them right now is really beat 500 team every game. And you can go on a little 2 or 3 game winning streak because now after this, you got you got the Pacers and the Magic.
And Miles Turner.
And then you go back to the Heat and the Nets and the Sixers.
Right. They could beat the Nets without KD too. So
without KD. But what I think they're going to lose the Heat. So they'll win. So they'll win the Pacers and the Magic. They'll lose to the Heat. So they'll win 3 in a row. Yeah, but let's not do that this year because you guys beat the Kings and then lose to the Kings.
Yeah, but we did beat a Heat team, and I believe LeBron James didn't even play that game. By the way,
that's fine. But I mean, I think
is that the team? Is that when the Heat were all dealing with COVID? Is that when the Heat were all dealing with COVID?
Well, no, all the players they played. No, they all played.
Oh, let me find a roster. Hold on. Let me find a box.
So since we want to bring excuses, see that's what you see. This how I'm in this debate, man. When I brought up these points, missing players, nobody wanted to hear it. Nobody. But now you want to bring that in the damn excuse.
So you're right. Hold on. Hold on. No, we're just making sure they ain't an excuse. We're just making sure. Hey, my team. I ain't giving you an excuse. I don't like the Heat either. So no, but I'm just making sure you're right. So they played. You beat them by 3 points in overtime, November 10th.
A win is a win. It don't matter. Stay consistent.
That's not the type of stuff Lakers say.
No, so I'm glad stay consistent, Jay. Because see, you floating around just like you always do. You float around. Stay consistent.
Jay, did you just finesse Freddie?
No, he just finesse. He don't want to stay consistent. He want to float around.
I think this is the problem, bro. No one's being real, Freddie, about what this is, and even Jay. And I love Jay, but Jay sugarcoated it, and it just isn't what it really is.
I tried to.
It's being.
No, you don't stay consistent. That's your problem.
No, and you could say it is, but here's the thing. That's also what the Lakers are, is inconsistent. They aren't good. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, Freddie. Like, I'm gonna read some names, and you tell me if they're on a championship roster in any way, shape, or form, and they belong on a championship roster. Now, I'll give Taylor a pass because Taylor's won a chip with them. But again, Taylor didn't do jack shit for them in that playoff series when they went to the finals. You look at Reeves, Monk, Johnson, Bradley, Howard, Ariza, those guys, as constructed right now, that some were household names at one point, are dog shit. Like, to be honest,
I don't think Dwight is.
Dwight as a big man is averaging 4 to 7 points a game, being the big man on the team.
Off the bench, though.
No, but right now I'm saying in place
of
AD,
to Mike,
like Pride, hear me out. Why is LeBron starting at the 5 at times? Because Dwight can't start.
I can tell you why. Let me tell you why, Mike. Can I answer that?
I just did answer it. So if you're going to come up with some reason,
I'll tell you the truth. Can I tell you the truth? That's not the truth why they started.
Yeah, go for it. Please enlighten me to why one of the greatest centers in the 21st century isn't starting, and LeBron James is not starting.
It has nothing to do with Dwight. It's because I've been saying this all year, even when AD started. It's just that because you brought in a point guard who's not an efficient shooter at all, that needs to space the floor, and by putting LeBron at the 5, that spaces the floor at our best option without Anthony Davis. That's why they put LeBron at the 5.
That's asinine.
That's not asinine. That's exactly
that's asinine, though.
Here's what's crazy about it, and I'll say it till the day I die. I'll say it for Randy. I'll say it for Jim. I'll say it for Daniel. I'll say it for Russ himself. I've been down the street, bro.
I've been down the street.
Get your ass wrong too. Falling into it. If you let a brother talk, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to make you not look dumb 10 months from now. But I'm trying to tell you.
Y'all don't want to look dumb as the player who isn't. You cannot win a championship.
Help me help you. I'm trying to tell you, I've been down this narrative before, bro. It's the conversation, the media, players, other casual fans are going to sit here and tell you that Mitchell Trubisky is why the Chicago Bears aren't good. I promise you, Freddie, I promise you, you get rid of this cat, and it's still the same dog shit, and it's still other problems. That's Matt Nagy, that's the front office, that it's the players constructed on the team. You're going to sit here and use Russ as an scapegoat. Has he been great? No. But where would you be right now if Russ wasn't on this team when AD went out?
We will win more games. We will win more games. By example, Mike, I don't know if you watched the Utah game.
And the reason I say, and real quick, James,
I don't know if you watched the Utah game. In the fourth quarter, we was down by 10 points.
And here's
about 10 points.
And Mike, and here's what I'm saying.
Guess who's on the bench?
Mike, real quick, this is why I say I believe the Lakers would be in a better position. Because if they could have gotten way more, and we also need to take into consideration they didn't want Malik. Because you're saying where was
way more talent?
Russ. Yes.
No. I'm saying right now, Russ leaves, right? Like say Russ goes down. What just happened in the last 5 games? Are you on a 3-game winning streak?
Oh, you're talking about just him being injured, like just him.
Yeah, like just gone.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's an unfair question. I don't think that's. I believe that's an unfair question a little bit.
No, but what I'm hearing is guys are saying, "Oh, just sit Russ. Don't even play Russ." Like, what are you talking about? There's no better.
No. I'm not saying don't play. You gotta play.
You know what I mean? No, like
you gotta play.
The narrative to speak here, to sit here and tell me one man is the entire reason that your coach doesn't have a game plan ever. You're telling me that the front office is bringing in guys who are 37 years old at a regular basis.
Mike.
What did you say?
Listen, Mike, stop.
No, what did you say? What did you say?
No, it's because of Russ.
No, what did you
I'm
say?
gonna tell you why. Because you don't bring us guys getting paid that much money. You can bring other pieces in. You want to tell you know why? The other night, Mike, listen, I don't know if you watched the game or not. Listen, bro. They had on the fourth quarter, the Lakers were down by 10 points, bro. They had Austin Reeves, an undrafted rookie, playing 9 minutes of that fourth quarter. Russ was on the bench for 3, and we made a comeback. It's the same thing on Christmas, going against Brooklyn, down big. Russ is on the bench most of the fourth quarter. We went on like a 32-8 run.
You know what the problem is, though, Freddie?
Bro.
I keep trying to tell you, though, it's the same conversation of you guys did this to yourself. No one. It's not Russ's fault he got paid. It's your fault that you took Russ's contract and you knew going into it. Here's what it is. And Chris can tell me where I'm wrong, and my stat man Dustin can tell me where I'm wrong. Because honestly, I haven't heard Dustin speak in the last 35 minutes because y'all going crazy. But it comes to the point to where, and I'll say it time and time again, you brought in Russ so that the media, so that ESPN can match big threes. You wanted it Russ versus KD, Kyrie versus LeBron, and then whatever, AD and Harden. There's no beef there. But they wanted to match big threes. They wanted to match what Brooklyn was doing. They wanted to be competent about it. Bringing in Buddy Hield wasn't going to sell tickets. Bringing in Buddy Hield wasn't going to put them in this conversation that Russ brought them into. What I'm saying is this is the bed that you made, and honestly, you got your name brand guy. But you're not going to get quality wins off of a name brand guy when the rest of that roster isn't constructed well.
I agree with that standpoint, how you say that. But what I'm saying, I agree. The Lakers, LeBron,
how is that on Russ though? If he's traded.
But what I'm talking about now that he's there, that Russ, you have to sacrifice. You can't turn the ball over, which where he corrected over the last couple of games. You can't shoot the ball inefficient, which he is yet to fix. But they have to find a way to make it work. Okay, Russ, instead of taking this 3, how about you dive down the lane, let LeBron get you on the back, easy layup. And, one thing I've seen about Utah, and I'm hoping this is a change, he was more aggressive towards the paint. And if we get that Russ where he's attacking the paint instead of him taking these crazy shots, turning the ball over, and him playing a little defense, we can win with him. But what I'm saying in his past, bro, like you can't turn. You're the point guard. You're the leader. You're the one running that offense. You can't expect the team to win. You turning the ball 7-8 times a game over. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Right.
I understand what you're saying, that Lakers, they messed up by not going out to get the guy who's the best fit for the team. Because we've seen Bron and AD win a championship with good quality players around him instead of going that route. Maybe
that's what I was trying to say is,
I understand your point about that.
Right, that first go around with Rondo and Dwight and all those guys, it was a well-balanced team. And AD understood his role, LeBron understood his role, even J.R. Smith understood his role at one point, you know, when he entered in the bubble. It comes to that conversation of the team you constructed now is top-heavy. And unfortunately, Pride and I talk about it all the time. It's bad if you're top 5 or top-heavy. Yours is only top 3 at best.
Yeah, I understand on that standpoint.
So
I really do understand on that standpoint.
Right, and you have to look at it, though, and you have to understand, like, Monk is cool, you know, Kendrick is cool, and Talon has his moments. But for them to sit here and tell me that Russ is the sole focal point of why it doesn't go, I think it's so much deeper than that. And the problem is this, and I know it's like, okay, well, you have to perform in order to get love, but when you're just shitting on the man, and the entire fan, not you specifically.
He deserves it.
No, Pride, I hear you. But when all you hear is fuel to the fire, fuel to the fire, fuel to the fire, if you think in any way, shape, or form, Pride, if everybody in the chat was just dogging you every single day.
He deserves it. I don't feel bad for him at all whatsoever.
But as a man, Pride, as a man, it gets to you at one point, and it's gotten to him at the point, and he's not performing well.
You want that to get to you? Play better. Play better.
LA, bro.
And I hear you, but that's why you wonder why there's
look, man, no. I hate the poor Russell Westbrook. No,
it's not poor Russell Westbrook.
It's not poor Russ. I don't feel bad for him.
No, Pride.
You're not hearing me. You deserve all the criticism you get. Now, the people who make fun of his family and his kids and all that stuff.
That's wrong. Yeah, I don't agree with that.
But you're not hearing me. The game starts, and Jim Cross is at the game. The game starts, and Lakers fans, before the game even starts, are yelling Westbrook. Bro, you're supposed to be.
That's what. Hey, when you don't perform in LA, Mike, that's
Freddie, I hear you. Freddie, I hear you. But what I'm saying is, your crowd, your fans that you guys take so much pride in, that you even said in the 2020 championship, oh, well, if the fans were there, it would be different. It would be Lakers in 4 because they bring that attitude.
What happened when he came?
Now here's my thing. Now ask
out of your mind, because in KD's final run with Golden State, they were chanting he was a snake and he balled out before he got injured.
I'm
not going to sit here and say,
what I'm saying is, though,
you don't want people to knock you, don't play like shit. You don't want people to say nothing.
Okay, but the game doesn't even start, and you're on this kid's nuts. He's on your team.
Because the moron is out here doing the world's dumbest stuff ever, bro. Are you kidding me, Mike? Mike, you know better, brother. Like, you know better, Mike. Mike, you know better, man.
Still balling. Like, it doesn't matter.
He's balling.
He's not balling, bro.
He's balling for the other team, Mike. Come on, man.
Bro gets $40 million a year. You're gonna tell me that we're just gonna slander this kid's whole career?
It's not. No. See, that's where you're messing up.
It's the way he's playing, Mike.
This year, he's horrible. That's not a hot take.
No, it's not. But what I'm saying is, to be sitting here and acting like this kid, it's his first year in the league and that this is what it's always going to be. That's what I'm saying. Before the game starts, if Lakers fans have his back, the kid's from LA.
I don't care where you're from.
I know you don't care, but right, I'm telling you, the amount of mentality that this kid has going on, and I'm not trying to make excuses for him. I'm just saying, Lakers fans are not helping the situation.
Mike, listen, bro. Hold on, Pride. Mike, listen, bro. Like, this is what I say, man. Russ got to understand, this isn't – when you join the Lakers, it's not like going to OKC when you can make a playoff, go for a playoff, win a playoff game here and lose. That's not okay in LA. Laker fans don't care about just making the playoffs. It's championship or bust. When they notice that players are playing like butt, they're playing ass, bro, Laker fans, they go at you. It don't care. You got to earn their respect by playing on the court, and they're turning into wins. Russell Westbrook have not done that since day one being in LA. And if he turned his season around and start playing good, I promise you, Laker fans will show him love and they will support him. But he got to earn it. This stuff is not just been in LA, bro. This not the Memphis. This not these other teams. This is the Lakers, who is championship or bust. And right now, the Laker fans, they sense that the championship run is over, and that's why they're reacting to him the way they are.
Now, here's my question, though. They all shit on Russ, but they're not going to shit on 95% of the rest of the roster that's dog shit.
Because Russ is the main problem.
No, he's not.
Russ is the main problem. He's
the number one problem. Out of your mind, Mike. Come on, Mike. You're better than this, Mike. Come
I'm
on.
not. No, bro. Like it's
why is rest the main problem?
Why?
I'm gonna tell you why. Freddie, may I?
Go ahead.
Okay. How many times have you seen Russ leave his man wide open in the corner to hunt a rebound? How many times have you seen him in a mid-range game hit the top of the backboard?
And
what
center is getting those rebounds up?
What rebounds?
Those ones that you're talking about.
The one that he's hunting for?
Yeah.
The other team.
No, but what center on the Lakers is doing that job?
So so by your logic, hold on. By your logic, you leave your guy.
I'm gonna go get the damn rebound.
He can get a clean little three right after. Mike, you know better than that.
I'm looking at you in the face right now, Pride, and I'm asking you, who else is getting that rebound?
How can they get it if they're out here? If he's out here getting in the way and they're bobbling it, giving the other team an offensive rebound, and who are they? And Mike, you can shake your head all you want, Freddie. You know this. You've seen
That's
it.
exactly what's happening. He cares about numbers.
I've seen this with my eyes. He'll leave his guy wide open in the corner, hunt a rebound. Dwight will try to get it. He bumps into Dwight. They bobble the ball. It becomes an offensive board. And do you know who they swing the ball to, Chris? The guy Russell Westbrook should have been defending. And what happens? Wide open three. We've seen that multiple times. The sloppy turnovers multiple times. The lack of hustle and defense on his path. When every time they do a simple step, Russ lets them go by.
So Russ
if you're going to sit there and tell me he's not the main problem, you're out of your mind,
right.
Man.
So what I'm
understanding
though is Russ is the main reason they are 27th ranked in defense.
He's one of the main reasons. Yes, he's one of the main reasons.
Yes.
He's one of the main reasons.
With 5 guys on the court.
He get 8 up. He let John give him 40?
5 guys on the court with Russ, and then 5 guys without.
I'm glad. Hold on. See, Mike, you're messing up. You're messing up on that, Mike.
Wow.
You're messing up on that, Mike.
Who's playing?
Because guess what, Dustin? Can you do me a favor, Dustin? You're a smart dude. You know how to find it. Can you look up people's field goal percentage shooting against Russell Westbrook? Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
At the end of the day,
give me a minute.
Can you explain to me though why no one's slandering James Harden for leading the league in turnovers?
That's a lie. They're slandering him. We've been slandering him for how long?
The way they're slandering Russ.
You want to know what the difference is? You want to know what the difference
winning.
is?
And the guys that they brought in, Patty Mills and Paul Millsap and all those other guys are good. That's the difference.
Yeah, no, that's not
the difference. The Lakers' problem is roster construction.
Yeah. No, and if you want to say roster construction, yes, I agree with you. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying Russ is the only problem, but he's the main problem. And you want to know why? Because when they went in the summer to get Russ, guess what they did? They stopped everything. They stopped talking to other free agents.
By the way, Mike, Russell Westbrook leads the league in turnovers right now.
You said what now?
Mike said that James Harden leads in turnovers.
How far back is James?
I think James is second.
Harden he's second. Westbrook have 187 and Harden have 179.
Okay, so it's not that far off at all.
Which is horrible. No, again, horrible.
But you know what the difference is, Freddie? You know what the difference is, Freddie? The rest of that team can construct themselves.
No, the difference is James Harden can still give you other things.
What?
He can shoot a lot better than Westbrook. A lot better.
Hey, Chris.
He don't miss wide open layups.
Do me a favor, Chris. If I'm saying anything wrong or out of pocket, I need you to come and tell me this. I need you to. Do you agree with me? James Harden still gives you more on the court than Russell Westbrook.
Yeah. I think James Harden's to me is a better passer of the ball than what Westbrook is.
Right, and I hear you. But when you look at Pride, when you look at the end of the day, he's averaging 3 more points. He has the same amount of assists and the same amount of rebounds. It's not that far off. The difference is they're winning games. That's the only.
You know why he's doing that, bro? Because I guarantee if they go out and say, Harden, we need you to score 30 every night. He still can do that. He has adjusted his game to work with this team. Russell Westbrook have not done that.
Thank you.
Yeah, but
and Mike, you can shake your head all you want, but that's
to me, everybody knew that when they got Westbrook.
What I'm trying to say
that it wasn't going to.
You knew for a fact that he wasn't going to change.
But why would you then defend it?
No.
Why are you defending
no.
it
then? Here's what I'm trying to understand. Here's what I'm trying to understand.
Did not go in that. No, they did not, Mike. That's why they had the conversation.
You didn't know he wasn't going to change his game?
No, that's why they had that conversation.
You thought
before
for
they
5
traded for
seconds.
him.
No, Pride. I just want to hear it. Right.
Hey, if he wasn't
traded
going
for
to change
him.
for Durant and change with the other guys he's played for, he wasn't going to change in LA.
But
That's what I'm saying. Like, what
but
you
to Freddie's
expected.
point, I think this is what Freddie's trying to say. And Freddie, if I'm wrong, let me know. We all knew that it wouldn't work, but LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and the Lakers front office
That's on
genuinely believed it could have
That's
worked.
on them. They
No,
know.
100%.
Yes, they were
Yeah.
convinced by that conversation. But we're past that, Phil, Mike. We're
Ron
talking about
look at himself.
before because you think it's wrong for Laker fans to criticize this man, to slander this man's name before a game.
No, you can
Because they
slander
need to forget what he done early in the year.
And you can slander it, and that's fine. But at the very beginning of a game, when you're supposed to be out there and we're like, all right, we're going to get this dub. You always say it, Freddie, one game at a time. If I walk into the arena and it's fuck me 25,000 times in 5 minutes, I'm like, fuck this. I don't want to do it.
Most Lakers fans, they don't care about that, bro. That's what I'm trying to say.
Here's what I'm trying to tell you, though. Freddie, you talk about James Harden adjusting. Why? Is because we all know at the end of the day, KD needs to be that number one guy, and he will be that number one guy. LeBron James needed to understand, and Anthony Davis and everyone else needed to understand, this kid's not changing his game, and that's on Russ. That is a knock on Russ. That is a knock on his mentality and everything he does. But if that is the case, you need to make Russ the number one option on this team.
No.
And someone else needs to take a step back.
You're out of your mind because he's the best player on the team. Are you kidding me?
You're like up here, you need to go down there,
No,
bro.
no, no,
Mike,
no,
you're
no.
bugging,
I
bro.
think on the Lakers team, Anthony Davis
Dude,
needs to be your number one option.
I'm supposed to chill out.
How is tell me in one way, shape, or form, who has the most recent MVP? James Harden or Kevin Durant?
So that means hold on. So that MVP don't matter. So let me ask you a question. So if Kevin Durant had zero MVP, hold on. If Kevin Durant had, hold on. Are you done? Are you done being wrong?
Are you done?
being
You
wrong?
just did this to James for like an hour.
No, because you guys are saying stupid
Hey,
shit.
Pride.
Go ahead, Dustin.
To answer your question before, opponents shoot 59.4% against Westbrook.
But again, it's not his fault. Almost 60% on him, man.
And that's horrible. And I understand that. But what I'm saying is it's the entire team that's being dog shit.
No.
It starts from the
You're not
top,
listening.
Mike.
That
Bro,
is on
no.
Russ specifically. That is
Right.
on Russell Westbrook specifically.
Right. And I hear that. And that's horrible. And I understand where
And here comes the but. Now let's talk about
there
everyone
was
else.
no but. But what I'm saying is like
on.
what are we talking about to the point to where it's like this is solely this man's fault when the rest of this team isn't a championship constructed team?
No, I didn't say
Mike.
it's solely his fault, but
He's
he's
number
the main
one.
culprit. And that's not a hot
That's
take.
fine.
That's not a hot take.
Hey, Mike,
What I'm
hey,
saying
yo,
is,
listen,
Pride,
I'm
you're
gonna
not
tell you
hearing
something.
what I'm
Hold
saying.
on, Mike. Hold
But
on.
to go back to
Hold
where
on.
we
In order to
on,
get
Chris.
wins, though.
Hold on,
y'all.
real quick, Chris. Go
Hold
ahead,
on.
Chris. Go ahead, Chris. Real quick, Freddie. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, I was going to say to go back to what we was talking about to begin with is if you fire Frank Vogel, that's not going to change anything with Westbrook.
Exactly.
But check
That's
this
what I'm
out. Check
saying.
this
That's
out.
why I'm not
Hold on,
firing
Brian.
Frank
Hold
Vogel.
on, please.
Yeah, that's what I'm
hold on.
saying. Firing Frank Vogel don't make no sense. And
No.
We had a better
somebody
season
had to,
last
somebody
year.
from the Lakers organization had to leak that out.
We
to the
had a
media.
better season last year
Don't do that.
with Dennis Schroeder as our point guard
Oh.
during the
Don't do
season.
that.
We
That's
did.
a different category. And
We won. We
zeros
won
all
more
across the
games.
board, definitely.
We won more games under Dennis. We would have been in better shape if we restarted Dennis Schroeder.
That man did suicides for 35
You won more
minutes.
games. You won more games
make
last
that
year because the
argument.
roster was constructed better. You had
Exactly. Yeah, 'cause
Caruso
that's what
and
I was
them
about to say.
guys.
That's what I was about to say. It's
But
not
one thing
really
about
the
Dennis
case of
Schroeder, I
Dennis
know he's
Schroeder
going to
being
play
that guy.
defense. He's going to play defense. He's not going to turn the ball over 7-8 times a game. He's not going to miss wide open layups. That's one thing I know about
This is-
Dennis Schroeder. He's going to know his role. He's going to know his role.
And I get it, but also that's a false equivalency because you got like Chris just said, that roster was just better.
Right.
So you didn't need Dennis Schroeder to be that dude. Let's be fair, they didn't have a big three. It was a dynamic duo and then a whole bunch of good role players.
Right.
But
And
that's
so
what I'm
look at it-
saying.
you look at it
Brian.
for
That's
Russ's
what I'm
situation
saying. We
last
would have
year
been
was
better off
similar
keeping
to it.
Dennis Schroeder, but we could have brought in another wing. We could have brought in other players because he wasn't going to cost as much.
And
as
again, you're talking about
Westbrook.
something that isn't Russ's fault. That's your fault.
But even
You
though we
didn't-
got him now, though, Mike,
Did
you
Russ
have
sign
to
the
adjust your
contract?
game,
Did
bro.
Russ sign the contract with the LA Lakers?
No, but he demanded to go to the LA Lakers.
He didn't. You demanded him, and he went there.
Bro, yes, he
Who
did.
recruited him? Who recruited him? Right, you're gonna sit here and tell me
you don't know, Michael.
Bro, don't do this, bro. You're telling me
I'm
LeBron
going
James,
to, because when he demanded a trade from Washington, he said he wanted to go where? To the Lakers.
Right.
That's
And guess
when
what?
they had the
And
conversation.
at the end of the day, the Lakers have to agree to that.
But at the end of the day, Mike, you have to. He's the one that had to adjust his game. LeBron and AD shouldn't have to adjust their game. They shouldn't have to go and say, you know what, we're going to defer to this man. No, you need to adjust your game. Russ, you can't do what you used to do in OKC. You can't do that no more. We're trying to win a championship.
See, but
and if you think that's wrong, Mike,
you let this kid go out and do what he does at OKC or do it somewhere else, and you
what has it got him? Nowhere. He didn't get his ass nowhere.
What are you talking about, bro? What I'm saying is, if you're putting,
he went to the finals and he choked with Kevin Durant.
You tell me you put this kid in a role. Okay, first of all, Pride can even speak to it. Pride says it time and time again. They were fucking like 19 when they went to the finals.
No, when they went against Golden State, he was not 19 years old. Him and Kevin Durant.
Yes, bro. They were little ass kids, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
I mean, we're talking about a guy who played with James Harden. Who
James Harden was a black figure.
Bro, stop it.
Nah, and we got to be fair here. When they had you, because people always say James Harden and
it wasn't even James Harden.
Nah, because remember, James Harden was the sixth man off the bench.
Number 3 was Kendrick fucking Perkins.
It was Serge Ibaka.
And Serge.
Let's be honest here.
I'm talking about when they played against Golden State the year before KD went to Golden State. When they went to the
Western Conference Finals, you mean?
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
We're not going to slander Kevin Durant for blowing a 3-1 lead either, though, right?
No, I blame Kevin Durant. I blame both of them.
They both choked.
Like, keep that energy, bro.
I blame both.
They both choked. That's what I said.
Right, and that's fine. But Freddie, here's what I'm telling you. And this is all I'm coming from. And you get so hostile with it so fast because I'm not saying LeBron needs to take a step back. What I'm saying is you understand right now, yes or no, that Russ cannot be a number 2 and he can't be a number 3. He plays like a number 1. Yes or no? So if that's the case,
he can't be a number 1, Mike.
You answered my question. He cannot be a role player. It's not in his game. It's not in his deck of cards. Right now, you're not winning games with him being that role player. You have to adjust it. See how it is if Russ runs it. LeBron doesn't need to. He might be the number 2. What I'm trying to tell you is, though, AD's fine with being a 3, and that's the guy you traded for. AD is soft. AD does not even fit what he's doing. What I'm trying to say is actually that LeBron James, if he adjusted it and he said, okay, fine, I'll let Russ do what he does. I'll do what I do to help Russ and help disguise what he's doing.
Russ run the team, bro. It did not work. That's when he was turning the ball over a high clip. Now LeBron taking over. He had the ball in LeBron's hand more.
It's so much different now because back then it was when Russ was running it. It was, oh, well, LeBron's not healthy. Oh, well, AD's not healthy. It's this, and this, and this, and this. And now it's different.
No, it's not different, Mike. We've seen when Russ he's turning the ball over 7 to 8 times a game, Mike.
Every Lakers fan has this kid's nuts in their mouth, and at the end of the day, when he leaves, it's still going to be the rest. 95% of this roster is dog shit.
No, it is not. That's why they're on one-year deals, Mike. That's why they're on one-year deals. So now, if they leave, now they got maneuverability.
So let me ask you, though, Pride. Let me ask you.
Go ahead.
When you look at it, and 95% of your roster is a one-year deal, and you're asking me why you're not the number 1 seed, that is why.
No, it's not.
Listen, hold on, please. I'm gonna bring this point back up to you again, Mike. There's 2 times this year. The other night, bro, we was down 10 points. They had Russ on the bench majority of the 4th quarter. We got back in the game with him only playing 3 minutes. We had an undrafted rookie in there. This team fit best without Russ. These role players, they can finally fit in. We've seen Avery Bradley play better. Stanley Johnson, Malik Monk.
Those are dog shit names.
When Russ is in there, offense is stagnant, bro.
Those are not good names. So every single
it don't matter about the names. It's about what is the production that they're doing. They know their roles. It's not about the others. It never have been about the others. When we won the championship, it wasn't about KCP. It wasn't about LeBron and AD.
You're going to go out here and you're going to say these guys are great this week, and then next week they're going to be inconsistent.
No, Mike, what you fail to realize, this Laker team is not built on, wasn't built on KCP, Kyle Kuzma. It was built on LeBron and AD, and the rest, they know their role.
But they know their role. You know what the difference was? Those were their guys.
We didn't have a guy turn the ball over 8 to 9 times a game. We didn't have that.
You traded all of them away. That's on you.
We already passed that though, Mike. You keep bringing that part up. We're past that.
Because you want to sit here. You want to sit here and blame Russ, but you're not going to fire the front office that traded for him in the first place.
No, you can't fire the front office because it wasn't the front office problem. It was LeBron and AD.
Let me ask Freddie.
Rob Pelinka had Buddy Hield ready to go over there.
Pride. It was already.
If that's the case, it is on the front office for letting LeBron and AD run things.
So you're telling me exactly what Chris just said. You're telling me your job as the front office is to bring players in, and somehow Russell Westbrook on a $44 million deal just snuck in under your nose.
In today's sports, in today's sports, everybody knows management listens to
not in today's sports. In
today's sports,
and in LeBron James.
Kevin Durant goes say he wants somebody. Guess what Brooklyn gonna do? They gonna get him.
No,
and that's facts.
No,
you know what? Yes, it is.
No, you know what? Because they bring in people who are.
He wanted Harden. Guess who? Guess what they went out to go do?
Oh yeah, who's James Harden? Who's James Harden? Right, one of the best scorers in the league.
But guess what? They got him. They wasn't looking at him until KD came and said, "Hey, I want this player."
They weren't gonna get him. Harden wasn't going unless KD.
So that's what I'm saying. LeBron and AD said, "We want this," and they went to do it. The same thing.
Westbrook
I've been telling you this for years.
Westbrook only averages one more turnover a game than what LeBron James averages.
But guess what, Chris? What? You can't do both. You can't turn the ball over high and shoot the ball horrible. You can't do that.
Yeah, all right. You wonder why it's a horrible team.
Mike, you let people, bro, because your narrative was beginning of season.
No, bro, what I'm trying to tell you is,
Mike, until people
and I tell Pride this all the time, though. You know, you wonder why Tom Brady is 7 for 7 and LeBron is 4 for 6.
It's because LeBron at a young age had a Boston Celtics team stacked the deck. Had a golden. Yes, Mike.
Freddie, you know why he doesn't have more rings is because when he started doing the constructing of the rosters, when he started becoming more a part of the front office, Tom Brady thrives in that. LeBron really doesn't. LeBron goes after
what are you talking about, Mike?
You let me speak, I'll tell you.
Until he start doing that, that's
every time. Pride, you ever notice that shit? He'll ask me, "Oh, what are you talking about?" I'll start talking, trying to defend myself, and then he'll start talking.
Yeah, Freddie, real quick, let him explain himself. I'm very curious to see where he's going.
Right. You look at it, right? You look at it from everything it is, whether it be in Miami, whether it be in Cleveland, the first 500 times, it doesn't matter. Not the very first time when he became constructed in it. When you look at it, what are you talking about, Joe? It looks like
Brady lost. Brady has lost 3 Super Bowls. He's 7-3.
Let that man be great.
No, because you said he was 7 for 7 late. He lost twice to the Giants and then the Eagles.
Facts, but I forgot about Nick. But you look at it and you have to understand this. He goes very top heavy, and he lets the front office deal with whatever else goes on with it. Right? Pride, tell me where I'm wrong. The front office of the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron James did not bring in Kyrie Irving. He brought in Kevin Love, and then he brought in whatever other role players he felt like he needed. Now, it wasn't constructed to the point where he brought in Kyrie. Now, here in this situation right now, the difference is, even with Miami, Wade was already there. Bosh was there. The rest were role players. Ray Allen wasn't who Ray Allen was. And you look at all these other guys, it just is what it is. This situation, LeBron did it right. And I'll say it time and time again. In 2019, 2020, bringing in AD, you brought in all these other cats. You already had Kuzma. You already had KCP. You already had Lonzo, Ingram, all these other cats. So you had a lot to work with. Here's where you fucked up. This time you brought in all of your friends. You brought in Carmelo. You brought in Johnson. You brought in Ariza. You brought in everybody you trusted to be able to do this. Then you bring in Russ, which again, like I said, is top heavy. And that is going to mess up the rest of your constructed roster to it only being 1-year deals because the rest of it's going to be bad. You get a Malik Monk out of Charlotte because no one wants to touch Malik Monk because he's not a winner because he's from Charlotte. You look at Kendrick Nunn. No one wants Kendrick Nunn because why did the Lakers beat them in the first place? Is because when Gordon Dragic went down in the finals, Kendrick Nunn did not step up. Kendrick Nunn is a second-round pick. Taylor Horton Tucker, my boy from Chicago, grew up in the same neighborhood, is a second-round pick. The guys that they are now are not Kuzma, are not KCP, are not Lonzo or Ingram. They are not the same cats. You are
everyone you named is better than Kyle Kuzma, and it's not even close.
If anything's better than Kyle Kuzma, and that's fine, and that's a different conversation for a different day. But my point is, right now, this is a bottom feeder roster. It is.
Pride to end the conversation, one thing that we've learned is Cooper Kupp can't be a number one option nowhere else, and Russell Westbrook he's perfectly fine for the Lakers. We can win with Russell Westbrook. He's the best point guard for the Lakers. He can't do nothing wrong.
This is what they do.
He can't do nothing wrong.
But Mike, let's be fair here. You're trying to absolve Russ.
I'm not. I even said it. He's been horrible. But to say, like Chris and I pointed out, he is the main issue is bullshit.
He is the main.
Chris, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, Chris?
Yeah.
You take Russell Westbrook out. Is this a playoff team?
No.
Out of your mind.
LeBron and AD, they're not a playoff team.
You're out of your mind.
AD's not there, bro.
If they rocked with the dynamic duo and never got Russ, this is a playoff team.
So you're saying the team was still constructed like last year?
No.
This year without Russ, with LeBron and
AD. The same exact roster.
You can't say AD, Freddie.
But AD is going to come back. He didn't tear his ACL.
I bet he is. And then he's going to
break his neck. His back is destroyed.
And then he's going to leave again, right?
Then we will see whether or not.
We don't know that. Just like Kevin Durant, we didn't know Kevin Durant was going back.
I have high expectations that AD will get it together.
We didn't know Kevin Durant was going to go down again. Well, Mike, you guessing. Stop reaching.
AD goes out every time he comes back in.
Well,
Kevin Durant was fine for 2 years.
You know what? Everybody wants to slander Anthony Davis. Do you know that Jimmy Butler has missed more games in Miami than LeBron AD has with the Lakers, Mike? But you don't slander that man.
That's fine because Jimmy Butler's never been hurt before.
And I mean, if we're gonna talk about that, if we're gonna talk about that,
man-made glass.
You guys, I mean, Freddie, let's be fair here. Mike is out here balls deep for Joel Embiid, but AD has played more games than Joel Embiid. But again, that's neither here nor there.
Everybody wants to slander AD's name, but nobody talk about Jimmy Butler that he's missed more games. Nobody ever
Jimmy Butler has missed these games and only these games. The only time Jimmy Butler was ever injured is right now.
No. His career as a Miami Heat, he has missed more games as a Heat as AD has as a Laker, Mike. That is not true. Go look it up.
Freddie, here's what you do. You compare it to something that has no fucking comparison.
No, Mike, you don't know. You only target certain players, bro.
Pride. No, not at all.
You're saying that AD is too injury prone, and in the same time span.
No, bro. Because you're gonna sit here and look at me dead in the face and tell me this kid's your franchise player when he's missing half the season every single season, and you're
ignoring what Freddie just said. And that
I can give a fuck what Jimmy Butler's doing.
Because it's not what Anthony Davis is doing.
Because Anthony Davis, you're putting this narrative that he's a franchise player. At least Russ
has the potential to be one. He's got maybe we don't know.
Like we're gonna sit here and we're gonna say, "Oh, Russ is awful." At least he's there. Like AD's not doing anything for you.
But my thing is, keep the same energy. When you talk about one player, talk the same about the other.
Keep that same energy when you're a 6'11" fucking center and you're not playing the center position and you're playing forward.
Well, guess what?
Because his body,
Mike, his body is weak as shit.
His body is built for finesse.
Oh my god!
If you ever watch an Anthony Davis game, you would know that, Mike. And I know
that's always been my knock on him too. He won't play physical enough.
Yeah,
to be a big guy.
Chris, because he's a
that's who he is. That's who he is. So what I'm saying is,
you ask why
you come after AD, he can't stay healthy a lot, but he don't say nothing about any other player. He don't say nothing.
I hear a lot of excuses.
He goes after Anthony Davis.
I hear a lot of hell of excuses for Anthony Davis.
It's an excuse for Anthony Davis, but it's passable for Jimmy Butler.
It's not passable. I'm saying he has a serious injury right now, and he's missed the majority of the season. Why are you smiling at that? Luka's missed the majority of the season.
That's what I said. That Jimmy Butler missed more time in Miami than LeBron is AD in LA. You don't keep the same energy.
Yeah, but
It don't matter
the thing
what
with AD,
energy-
he's usually out every year.
Hold on. Go ahead, Chris. Hold on. Go ahead, Chris.
AD's usually out every year. If you go back
Every
even
year.
when he was in New Orleans, he's always been out every year.
About Miami and LA.
I'm talking about Miami and this small
Jimmy
portion
Butler has
size
missed
that
more
Anthony Davis
time
has been in
than
LA
Anthony
to
Davis.
begin with, right?
He has missed more games than Anthony Davis.
Oh my God! What I'm saying
I
is,
understand
here's
that
your
he
problem.
has, but
Nah,
I'm just
Chris,
saying
Chris,
Anthony
here's what
Davis
he'll do.
hasn't stayed healthy.
Here's what he'll do.
Hold on.
He'll
Wait.
compare it.
Hold on, Mike. Wait. Go ahead, Chris. Finish your point.
Well, I'm saying I understand that Butler's missed more games. Well, I'm saying Anthony Davis' whole career, he's never stayed healthy. So to me, you can't depend on him to be your franchise guy.
And Chris,
But most
answer
of
me
the
this.
time,
Answer me this.
he's a
What
franchise
does Jimmy
player,
Butler
though.
have anything to do with the Los Angeles Lakers?
Because you
Why was that-
religiously,
why was that
Mike,
You're
you
missing
always
the
want to
point,
tear
Mike.
this
You're
man
missing
down. He can't stay healthy, but you
No
never
one's
mentioned
giving Jimmy
nobody
Butler
else.
a pass.
But
You never
Freddie
mentioned
Freddie
nobody
don't have
else.
that same energy for him.
So, but here's my thing: Jimmy
Every time we
Butler's
talk about
serious,
Jimmy Butler,
Jimmy
you
Butler's
fucking
serious
dry.
injury, yes or no?
I understand LA's the easy market to attack. That's why Charles Barkley, these guys always go after AD, but you never hear anything say anything about that about Jimmy Butler. It's because it's LA.
Because he's
and it's
never
the Lakers.
hurt,
That's
bro.
exactly why.
He's never hurt. Zach LaVine been out. We don't bash him. Yes, we don't bash him. Damien, what are you talking about?
No, it's true. It's true. It's
He's
true.
3 games.
You'll be ducking Zach LaVine if he
He's
misses
missed
anything.
3 games.
You be ducking him. Do with that information as you
Missed
will.
3 games. AD's missed 3 months.
Do with that as you will.
You guys are
Straight up be
bugging.
ducking
It hasn't
him,
been
bro.
no 3 months, by the way, Mike.
As AD,
It's
hey,
only
you
been like a month and a
you
half.
can ride his nuts all you want, Freddie. That's cool
No,
with me.
bro, but be consistent, Mike. That's what I'm saying. Like, you gonna say the same thing about AD? Say
talking
about
about?
every
No.
goddamn
Chris
everybody
and I
else,
have
Mike.
said it. Chris and I have been sitting here and telling you since 2010, this man has not finished a season healthy.
I'm not talking about. I'm
And
talking about
Mike, I
LA
understand
and
that.
Miami.
I understand that, Mike. Since 2010, he has not finished the season healthy. I
Right.
get that. But again, have that same energy when you're choking on Joel Embiid.
I do get about Joel
No, you
Embiid.
don't.
What did I say yesterday?
I'm not a Joel Embiid fan.
I said
either,
right now,
so-
Joel Embiid is playing like the best big in the league. I did not once say that he's not injury prone. I did not once say that's exactly why he didn't
But
go
you
for the
intentionally
MVP.
avoid it.
Why
And then when someone brings it up,
avoid it? No one asked it. Pride, you want to ask me straight up?
Nobody asked about AD injury, but guess what? You found a way to bring that
Hold
up.
on, Pride. One
If
second.
we're
Hold on,
honest, if
Pride.
we're gonna be honest.
So
I'm not even
the
that high
reason
on AD, but
the reason this man won't win the MVP is the same reason Embiid doesn't every year, and it's because he misses too many games in the second half of the season. Right now, he's playing great ball. And at the end of the day, if he gets injured again, that's on Embiid. And it's the same concept with Anthony Davis. They're great players, but they're not there when you need them in the long
The
haul.
only reason why you brought that up is because we came out because you only attack one player.
And like you attack fucking Russ?
because Russ is the main.
He has a fucking point to do that, Mike.
No,
He has a
Freddie,
fucking
no,
point to
Freddie,
do that,
you
bro.
telling me straight up, you telling me I'm attacking one man, and you're attacking one man, but it's
No,
different.
But the difference is
the
difference
I'm
is
attacking the problem. He said.
First of all, I'm not really attacking Russ. I'm just speaking just honestly and legitimately. People like you defend Russ, and that's frankly why Russ doesn't feel like he needs to change, because he always has people defending him. But again, if any other player did this, we'd be killing him. If you replace Russ with De'Aaron Fox and he's doing the same thing, we're killing him.
We kill him.
You replace Russ with any other guard, Dennis Schroeder, Luka Doncic, Dame Lillard,
They're killing
James
him now.
Harden. If you replace any of them with Russ and they do the same thing, we're killing him. But Russ gets a pass and we keep calling him a kid when he's in the twilight of his career?
See,
are you
that's
shitting
it's
me?
not a pass.
Out of your
Chris
mind.
and I never once said it was a pass. Chris and I said it's not the main problem. The person who brings in Russ and puts in a bunch of one-year deals is the problem. And whether that's Bron or your front office,
Now, why did they have to do those one-year deals? Why did they have to do those one-year deals?
because they brought in a man who makes $44 million. The other two, how much does LeBron make? Over 30. How much does Anthony Davis make?
So they bring him in and they tell him you need to take a back seat. He refuses to take a back seat, and that's still the Lakers' fault all the way.
You knew that's what he
Out of
was.
your mind. Out of your mind. Just
No,
more
they did
passes
not
for
know
Russell
that, Mike,
Westbrook.
because they had a
Why was he on 4
It's
teams
just
in 4
another
years?
pass for
Why was he on
Russell
4 teams in 4 years? Why?
Because he's not good anymore.
Thank
His
you.
athleticism
So why
is
would you
fleeting.
trade for him?
But you're sucking him. You're feeding
Why
him
would
right
you
now. You're
trade
like
for him
Russell
if he
Westbrook.
sucks?
Come on, man.
Why would you trade for $44 million a year?
Mike,
And listen, and the Lakers,
I don't understand why the Lakers
listen, the Lakers organization is going to take their part of the blame,
and they have to be that
for Russ.
But they're not the number one.
They got to take some blame. LeBron got to take some blame.
That's the main problem, that he can't go out there and stop turning the ball, or he can't shoot the ball efficiently. He's not the main problem.
I've been consistent with
the main problem.
That LeBron's going to take responsibility, and same with that Lakers front office. They both need to take responsibility for bringing Russ in.
That's what I'm saying. To me, the number one problem is their front office.
But now that Russ is in here, and they told Russ, you need to be a backseat. LeBron is driving, and AD's in the passenger. And when LeBron gets tired, when they pull over for gas, they just gonna switch. Right. You are in the back seat, regardless of what happens.
Right.
The only way you'll ever move up is if for some reason AD gets stuck in the bathroom and we still need to go. That's it. And we'll Uber him to meet us at the next gas station.
Right.
That's it. Russ can't accept that.
Right, but here's my thing, Pride, and this is the last part. I'll leave it, and I just want to see if we're on the same wave with it. Say you got a dog, right? And I love your daughter. She's an amazing person. I love everything about her. Now you got a nice little yard. You got a wild dog though. That dog's crazy. That's Russ, right? You bring Russ into that house. You bought that dog. That's you. Yep. You bring him in. He's running around crazy. Now you open the gate, right? Your daughter opens the gate every single day and lets the dog out. Is that the dog's fault for being a dog? Or is that whoever opened the gate's fault? The front office opened the gate to bring in Russ.
Mm-hmm. You're right. 100%. You're right. But here's the
Freddie, that's what I'm trying to say. Here's the part you're neglecting, Mike. If you don't open that gate and you bring in Buddy Hield, you bring in a bunch of other guys.
Right, Mike, because you're reaching. Because here's the thing: if you're a horrible pet owner, if you're a good pet owner, you train the dog. You teach the dog. And if you can't train the dog, then guess what? That's not a good dog.
What I'm saying is, though, Pride, here's my biggest thing. You shouldn't have got the dog.
Mike, we're past that, bro.
12 plus seasons of watching.
And listen, and I agree with you. They should not have gotten Russ. It's a bad trade. Mm-hmm. It's a stupid trade.
Right.
And the Lakers are going to be bouncing the first round at best because of that trade.
Right.
Now here's the problem.
But even
though that happened, you can't defend him for playing like dog duty.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to say is I'm not defending him for playing like shit.
You just felt bad for him because he's always getting cooked Westbrook before he takes
what I said. What I said. Did I make an excuse to why he's playing like shit? No. What am I saying? When
you say you feel bad for
people,
you did make an excuse. You said, "Imagine if you had to do that. Imagine if your own home crowd would actually say this."
I'm saying from your point of view,
if you're playing like garbage,
there's a lot that goes into it.
Garbage, man.
But isn't this dude? Didn't we say this dude have Mamba mentality? Supposed to be to have the mindset like
supposedly. It wasn't Mamba mentality, but supposedly his mentality was up there. He was tough, like mentally tough.
Always Mamba mentality. Pride, I can't do it.
Now, all of a sudden, Chris, he gets to LA.
Let's stop that. Hey, let's stop that comparison because if Obi was in the same situation, he would thrive off of it.
And I'm not saying Mamba mentality. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying
Mamba mentality. You know what I mean, though? You know what I mean? Anytime anybody goes into the Lakers facility, Mamba mentality. There was one guy ever that had Mamba mentality, and nobody else ever even sniffed it.
But I'm saying Mike, I'm not saying you, bro. I'm saying
Kobe is gone. Move the fuck on.
But Mike, listen, bro.
Move on.
Mike, listen. I'm not talking about you said it, but I'm talking about before he came to LA. People wanted to put that
no, you did say it, bro. You literally just run the tape back. You said, "What does he have? Mamba mentality." I can give up.
Mike, listen. What I'm saying is, people wanted to put that on him. Just said he got it. I'm saying that he don't got it because he's a whack ass player.
No one has it, Clyde. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
He don't. Listen, but Mike,
you know why Devin Booker hates the media so much is because they keep throwing Mamba mentality at him when he doesn't give a shit about Mamba mentality.
But they did the same thing with Russ. They did the same thing with Russ,
and he doesn't care either.
But Mike, you got to understand something, and this is where Freddie's coming from. I think
Mamba mentality.
Before Russ got to LA, he had this reputation of being mentally tough. Right. He had this reputation of, again, not Mamba mentality. But he had this reputation, yes.
No, but let's really look back at it. Let's look back at it. And this
no. Did he have it?
That's what I'm saying.
I think he had a solid one. I think he was solid.
But Pride, can you agree with me here to where it's his own narrative that he was driving? But when you really look at it, the way he handled KD leaving was not mentally strong.
No.
Every chance he got to fight KD, he took it.
But that's not. Me personally, I don't think that's mentally soft.
That's not mentally hard though.
No, honestly, I don't think it's either. I just think it's petty.
You're like a kid.
I think it's petty. I think it's petty.
Right. It's petty as shit.
I
don't think it's him being not being mentally strong or mentally weak. I just think.
Look at LeBron. Look at your boy. Uh-huh. Kyrie dogs LeBron. LeBron says nothing. Leaves it alone.
LeBron,
that right there, you're mentally strong.
But that's a bad comparison, though. Because
Russell Westbrook took every opportunity to be petty he's ever been given, and that's Russ. At the end of the day,
that's what I'm saying. He's mental. When it comes to his toughness, he's solid. That's what I'm saying. He's solid.
On the court, he's a tough dude, but his actual person, he's kind of soft.
I wouldn't go as far as saying soft.
I've always thought that. Dude, he literally fights, and it's not. Some were motivated; they were racially motivated comments, and he deserved the right. Salt Lake City is its own breed, its own place, and it's a horrible place. And I'll say this live on TV: if you're from Salt Lake City, I probably don't like you, but it comes to the point to where it's legitimate. We've seen him argue with people who haven't really said that horrible things of him. He listens to the crowd. He feeds into that. He feeds into other players. He feeds in the narratives and ESPN. You look at his Instagram right now. He just dogs the media time and time again about that. They're talking about him. LeBron James gets dogged, 0 dark 30. He doesn't say a word. He understands. He makes a post the other day saying, I understand that this is a problem. Russ gets defensive. That's the problem. Russ is still not that leader. He's not that guy that's going to take a step back.
Right,
and the problem is, my last point, though, you knew that's what it was.
Because
you knew that's what it was.
Mentally tough is different. Those are two different things.
I think it's more that I think it's more that he's petty and he's not a team guy. He's more worried about himself.
Right.
So that's what it is.
Not being mentally tough.
Chris and I have been saying this the whole time, though, Freddie. For 12 plus years of this kid being in the league, you've seen the same thing. Why they thought that he would change now is absurd.
We had already been past that, Mike. We went past. We agree with you on that part.
My point, though, bro.
We agree with you on that part, Mike. We get you. But what we saying is,
Mike, you're not listening at all. Okay, we all agree. Russ being there, horrible. Okay, we all agree there, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's here now, right? So now the Lakers are losing. Who's the number one culprit to it?
The guy who brought him in. You got
this
him.
Is another episode of ASAP in the morning. I'm not dealing with delusional today. I'm not dealing with delusion. I'm not dealing with it today. I'm done.
Let me.
No, Mike, I'm done.
Why are you bugging?
I can't, man.
No, you're bugging, Mike.
And I'm gonna tell you why, Mike. Because when they brought him in, they told him you need to be the third guy.
You know
he's getting outplayed by Malik Monk.
But you know he's not.
He's getting outplayed by Austin Reeves.
Like, bro,
he's getting outplayed by DeAndre Jordan.
He's not. Let's not do that.
I'm gonna say it one more time. He's getting outplayed by DeAndre Jordan.
Now we're just lying.
No, Mike. See, Mike, I'm gonna tell you, bro.
18, I'm not 8, and 10.
You, bro. Your narrative from Westbrook has changed within the last 2 months. Your narrative has changed, bro.
How?
Because you
let people influence your opinion on things, bro. You was not talking like this a few months back. You was not, Mike.
I said the same thing. I said it's
not bro. Work. No.
Yeah, I didn't think it worked from the get-go.
You can't say that Russ is a problem. Then you're not watching it.
No, Ben said Russ was.
I think you got to put some of it on Russ. You got to put some of it on Russ, but you also got to put a big part of it on that GM.
Right.
We agree that the Lakers made a mistake by getting. We agree on that. But what we're not going to do on the court, we talking about playing. Russell Westbrook is majority of the problem when we talking about playing. Because before Russ got here, we didn't have a guy turning the ball 7-8 times ago. We didn't have a guy who was shooting the ball horrible. We didn't have none of those guys.
And listen, and LeBron is turning the ball. He's turning the ball over, right? And I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it, right? I don't like it at all. However, Guess what he's doing? He's bringing more to the fucking game.
That's fine.
Let me know when Russ does that.
You wonder why you lose by 30.
Out of your mind. And why? And why are they losing by 30?
You have 30
LeBron out here getting a
turnovers a game.
30-point triple-double. And why are they losing by 30? Because
Man,
Russ
bro.
out here going 4 for 20. One
And
for
the guys on your bench
mind.
average 2
Out
points.
of your mind. Out of your mind.
Mike, see, it's fun that you don't think Russ is a problem at all. That's just funny.
Nah,
that's
that's
common
horrible.
with me, bro.
That's
That
horrible.
is a problem.
That's
Chris,
horrible.
Chris, you notice
No,
that on
Like,
Lakers?
you making it seem like that's a problem.
Chris,
You
no.
you
I'm
attack
mistaken,
somebody on
let
the
me know,
bench
Chris.
No, it's
before you
crazy.
attack
They're
Russ.
both having their own conversation right now, Chris. And the crazy part is, me and you have both said he's a problem. But I'm not going to sit here.
No. You did not say he is a problem. You said, well, the Lakers are a problem. Bring this guy. That's what he is.
Chris, let me ask you something.
Did I not say this?
Chris,
man's
let me
a
ask you a
problem?
question. When you have a big three, right? The
Is it a big
responsibility
three, bro?
falls the most on them, correct?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. If they lose a game, are you going to look at the big three first, or are you going to look at Malik Monk, Trevor Ariza,
I'm going to look at the
Wayne
members.
Ellington, Austin Reeves, and if
You want me to answer
tell
that?
me
You want me to
you're
answer
looking
that
at the
real?
bench players, do me a favor.
You want me to be
just don't
real
watch
about it?
basketball.
When I look at your big three and I notice that one of the fuckers hasn't been there since the beginning of the season, that's not a big three.
He
Right.
has been there.
He's
No,
not
if you want to
there.
be, you now you're lying.
You literally
Now
just
you're
said they
lying.
were a
You ain't
big
being
three.
truthful. He's only been gone about a month.
Earlier, you said they were a big three. Now they're not. You
How
need
many
to
games
You
of all
said they were a big
You
three.
need to- I just said it now because you said they were a big three.
How many
You said
games?
it, so you got to pick it up.
How many games of all three of their big three played together this season?
Not a lot.
Probably like
Not a lot.
That
Because when
changes-
AD
and
was
to me,
here,
that
LeBron
changes
was out,
things
then
because if you
LeBron came in, and then AD got hurt, and now it's just
LeBron got
LeBron and Russ.
suspended, and then
I think that's their other problem is that they all haven't been healthy at the same time to get in any kind of rhythm to playing together.
Yeah, that's a problem. That is a problem.
But
That's the
prize
problem,
Now, let me
but
ask you a
for us
question, Chris.
But
Is
for
it
us
the
to
main
say that
problem?
Russ is not the main problem, you're just ignorant. Point blank.
it's not, I'm literally sitting here and I'm telling you that you can look at from more than just one way. That's one perspective, using as an scapegoat. Am I going to blame Mitchell
Scapegoat.
Trubisky?
So now
Right.
he's the scapegoat.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Bro,
Am I going to
think
blame
he-
Mitchell
I think he
Trubisky
stopped
for
in the
being the
morning.
quarterback of the Bears, or am I going to blame Ryan Pace for passing up on Patrick Mahomes? Because you could have had Derrick Rose.
You're
You
gonna
could
blame
have had
him
Buddy
because
You
Hield.
blame
You
Ryan.
already
Hold on.
passed
I'm
that,
gonna answer
right?
your question because you're not just gonna
Answer it.
zoom by it and think it's gonna be cute. You blame Ryan Pace for passing on him, correct?
Right.
But guess what? You have what you have, and you now have to work with what you have. So
Right.
now I blame Mitchell Trubisky for not succeeding in that situation. I
See, that's
blame
crazy.
Mitchell Trubisky for not
But you
being
knew what he
back up.
was.
I blame
I
Mitchell
blame Matt
Trubisky
Nagy more
for
than I
not
blame
being
Trubisky.
able
I
to
blame
pull
all of
that
them.
weight.
But I
Period.
blame all of them, Chris. I'm with you. But
Period.
what I'm trying to tell you is, though, if you knew what he was at the end of the day and you still took him, that's your ass.
And again, Mike, and it's adorable. You're so wrong on the main point. You're going back to the sky is blue to try to make yourself sound right.
I'm
Nobody's saying that the
I'm
GM
literally
has to
right,
start
bro.
responsibility. No one is saying Rob Pelinka made the right move. No one is saying Jeannie Buss made the right move. Nobody's saying LeBron James made the right move. They're all them. They're all wrong. For the 15th time, Mike, do me a favor. Please listen. For the 15th time, you're right. They made the bad move. However, Russell Westbrook is now in LA. He is there. So now he needs to play better and play to fit. One more time, play to fit this team. If he can't do it, at what point do you look and say, Russ, do better? Because you can sit here and cry about Jeannie. You can sit there and complain about Rob. But at the end of the day, Russell Westbrook is there and he's playing poorly. At what point do you blame Russ? I'll wait.
And what's the narrative, though? What did you just say? You said he has to fit through this team, right?
Yes, because I'm not going to rebuild my team for Russell Westbrook.
Now answer me this.
Answer
me this, though. What is the team? What is
You
that?
still haven't answered Pride's question.
I did answer Pride's question.
No, you did not. You asked the question when he got done answering the question.
Freddie, look at me in the face.
He asked you when at one point do we say when Russell Westbrook is a problem? You didn't answer that question.
And I've told you from the beginning of the fucking show, he's
no,
a
you did
problem.
not. You went to go blame Rob Pelinka,
No,
LeBron,
because you
Jimmy.
don't
That's
listen.
what you did, Mike.
Bro, I ain't doing this with you, bro. I'm literally.
You don't
I'll
have to,
leave,
Mike.
bro.
You got this dude up your ass.
No, because Freddie, because he's still not listening.
He's a problem. I just don't think he's the only
That's
problem.
literally what we're
On
saying.
him.
No, but again, now you guys are changing the thing.
Bro, I'm leaving.
We're
Bro.
not-
I'm leaving,
And you
bro.
can go ahead. Have a nice day. we're not saying that Russ is the only problem. That's not what we're saying, Chris. Because again, they do have other problems, right? Let's just like one of the main points you brought up. The same reason why a lot of people, myself included, we did not ask. We did not. We had our concerns with Brooklyn last year. When your big three doesn't play a lot together, at least, especially when you need them to. So is that an issue? 100%. That is an issue. Defensively, that is an issue. My point is Russell Westbrook is the main problem. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that if you get rid of Russell Westbrook, all your problems are going away. Because you do still have some problems there. You still do. You still are going to need some guys to step up so that way it's not LeBron or bust, right? You need to be able to see, can AD stay healthy? You do need to see that, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a whole bunch of problems, Chris. But to pretend that Russell Westbrook isn't the main problem, Dustin said it before he got off. They're shooting almost 60%.
Yeah, his defense has been terrible.
Westbrook himself, man. On Russell Westbrook himself. And Chris, I'm saying it. There have been multiple times, and Freddie watches every game, so he could back me up on this. There have been times where he straight up goes, whatever, leaves his guy wide open to try to chase a rebound. He'll bump into LeBron. He'll bump into Dwight.
Oh, yeah. I've seen him do that before.
Yeah, they lose the rebound, offensive board, boom, wide open, clean cut three, and they're passing it to the dude that Russ should have been guarding. The free throw troubles he's having, all these things he's having, if you don't have Russell Westbrook, we're having a completely different conversation. So, and to say,
do the Lakers, if they would bench Westbrook, do you think the Lakers would be better off?
I think so. Me personally,
I do. With what they have right now,
I do. I'm gonna tell you why. I think so because we went on a run the other night when we was down by 10. When we sat Russ, we went on a run and won the game. We did the same thing on Christmas night against the Nets because you give an opportunity for Avery Bradley. Those guys know their role, but they're not getting the opportunity, or the ball takes away from them. That's what I'm saying. We have Austin Reeves who play good defense, who make the right decision. We had him running point the other night, Pride, and we got back in the game and won. That's what I'm saying is Russ' problem is if Russ knew his role, if Russ is said,
yeah, I understand that.
And I'm not going to turn the ball over. But if I turn it over, I need to shoot the ball well as well. I can't. That's what I'm saying. If he comes in, understand I don't expect Russ to be a perfect player. LeBron's not a perfect player. Nobody's a perfect player. But you can't do one thing bad and
not
just keep adding on to
something else worse.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
And again, Chris, I just want to make sure that we're understanding because I don't want anyone to misconstrue what I'm saying. When they went and got him and got Russ, that was a horrible move. And I've said this consistently. Freddie, you can vouch for me on this. Jeannie Buss needs to wear this L. Rob Pelinka and LeBron. And I'm the biggest LeBron James fan you will ever meet. I am a LeBron James stan, right? However, he needs to wear this because if he doesn't go out and say, I want Russ, they don't get him.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
I didn't know. That's what I never understood is why they blew the team they had up like that, because they had some good role players. If you just added the right guy with what you had, would have been, to me, a hell of a lot better.
But this is the thing: the LeBron get most of them because, like I said, that
I think Caruso was a big loss.
It was a massive loss.
I agree. But, this will get the Lakers in trouble. It seemed like it repeats itself. We seen when they had Kobe and Shaq, and they brought in Gary Payton and Karl Malone. We've seen that experiment. We seen the Steve Nash, the Dwight Howard trying to bring in this big name. We seen that. The Lakers at this point, they just got to find a way. Russell Westbrook got to tone it down. And they got to find a way to get to somehow, some way, if it's not too late to save this season. And they got to, the big three got to play together. They're at that point.
Anthony Brett says, what's the cap hit if you cut him? Give me 1 second. I'll actually pull it up.
Hey, guys, I got to get out of here. I have a show at 1, but I'll see you guys in the morning.
right, yes, sir. We'll see you tomorrow, my guy.
Nice
Be
talking to
safe.
you, Chris.
Be safe.
Man,
And real
got me
quick,
hot, got my headache back
someone
up.
said, why isn't LeBron getting any heat for missing games? But Russ is on the court every night busting his ass, and he gets all the heat. So first and foremost, you're an idiot. All due disrespect, of course. And I will explain why. When Bron was missing the games, there were questions on whether or not he could come back and play at an MVP level. When Bron was out, people were questioning him. Is it the beginning of the end? When he was out, he was taking backlash. And then you're saying, oh, yeah, Russ is busting his ass every quarter. He's busting his ass for the wrong team. Do better. Google's free. Hold on, I gotta find Russell Westbrook's contract because I'm very. I know it's a pretty solid cut, or I know it's very solid. It's pretty. Let's see. So, 44 million. If I'm looking at this correct. Yep, for 40. If they cut him this year, the cap hit will be about, because it's fully guaranteed. Like his contract is 110% guaranteed. So if he gets cut, it'll be the cap hit will be 44 million. The only way they could kind of the only way it would not be that big of a hit is if they trade him and the team that they trade him to, they come up with an agreement where the Lakers pay a part of it. So instead of the full 44 million, they'll do something with Lakers go, hey, let's split it 50-50, 22 apiece. How's that sound for this year? And then they go from there. But if they just full out cut him, all that is guaranteed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're in a tough situation. Their only best bet is to hope somebody's willing to come trade them off their hands. And this February 10th trade deadline is going to be very interesting. I've seen some reports that this is realistic trades. They said that could happen. They could make a trade for Eric Gordon, or they can make a trade for Terrence Ross. The strengthen up their backcourt.
I do like that.
So
it'll be very, and again, I just want to make sure that Freddie and I both clarify what we're saying. We're not saying that, he's the only problem, but he's the main problem. If you disagree, you either don't know what you're talking about or you're just a Russ fanboy. Really, all it comes down to is just one or the other. Take a minute. Yeah, take a minute, sit down, watch the game. Watch the game. And for all the hoopla of him playing every single game, yep, he puts on the Lakers jersey, but he low-key plays for the Suns. He low-key plays for the T-Wolves. He low-key plays for the Trailblazers. He low-key plays for the OKC. Let's just be fair here. Because I'm just ending it with this. For all the people who are defending him, if LeBron James played like this, we're slandering his name. Kevin Durant plays like this, we're slandering his name. Nikola Jokic, Jimmy Butler, any of those guys play like this, we're slandering their name. So why Russ gets a pass, who knows? The world will never know. It's been ASAP in the morning. Appreciate you guys being here. I've never been so stressed before. I've never heard such stupidity back to back to back to back to back. I cannot wait for this weekend. I'm taking oh my God. I might pull a Kyrie Irving and demand a sabbatical, bro. I never heard like this, the craziness I heard, Freddie. I had a flashback to another show I was on where every day it was just the dumbest stuff coming out of somebody's mouth. I just got a flashback to that. Oh my God, bro.
Yes.
Follow us on all our social media outlets. We got merch. We got all that good stuff. On behalf of Dustin, Mike, Jay, Chris, and Freddie. It's your boy Pride. I need to go outside. I got to go take a walk.
I need to go outside to cool off. I'm hot in here.
Bro, I need to go take a walk. We'll be back here, unfortunately, tomorrow morning. Freddie, I'm about to take a sabbatical, bro. I'm about to take a sabbatical. And the thing is, oh my God. We'll be back here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central. Got my Freddie. I'm trying, brother. I'm trying, Freddie. You're going to yell at me after this, bro. Until then, be safe. We'll be back here 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central. Until then, y'all know what to do. Be safe.
Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.